Extremes like extremes number. That number sounds way too high. Like, what is 80 degrees? Why is that? Why is that number so high? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then when you tell, yeah, but then yeah, when I it's that's what's funny is that system messages is such a huge contrast because there's like context to the number, right? So you tell an American it's 27 degrees outside, right? It's like the number is so low we consider it cold, right? But because of the scale in Celsius, that's a pretty hot day. But it's such to see the number 27 and associate it with heat and cold, like with some level of heat, is like mind boggling. Like I get it with the Celsius, right? But like, yo, it's 80 degrees. Yo, it's 90 degrees. Oh my God, today it's 100 degrees. That makes sense. But imagine somebody run into your house and be like, oh my God, it's blistering hot. And you're like, how is it? It's 32 fucking degrees outside. It just doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right. You know, without context, it doesn't sound right. You know? It's just fucking weird, you know. And you know what's funny? That was just something. No matter how hard, it was just something I was unable to get used to, even living in Europe. Like I would always have like instead of me just getting used to it and learn the calculations, I would just get an app. And you know, Socrates warning. Socrates. You know what? That's just Socrates warning with technology, right? We just end up getting stupid as the technology gets more advanced. So anytime I see Celsius, I would just get an app and convert it. And you know, I would refuse to naturally learn the conversion. Okay. Mm, that's a good way to put it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just a strange thing. I don't know why. I don't even know why. To yeah. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Mhm. I think Fahrenheit's better. It just sounds better. It just sounds better. It just sounds better. If Fahrenheit, it's just sound. It's just Fahrenheit. You know, Fahrenheit. You know, it even sounds like temperature. Fahrenheit. You know, I mean, think about the movies. In the blistering heat. Welcome to the new movie Fahrenheit. Now imagine you try to do the same thing in the blistering heat. Welcome to Celsius. That just don't even sound right. that don't sound exciting. Like Celsius don't sound dangerous. It don't sound dangerous. You know, there's no connotation. You know, what? He's associates for soy boys? What? What is it, woke now? Now we talking what temperature became woke? What? Holy shit. Yo. Okay. I mean so it's just I don't know, man. I don't know, unless America just has a habit, like we're gonna do everything just to say fuck you to the world, just so we can get all the attention. Like that's what it feels like. Because we don't do, you know. That's it, man. I mean, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? The one thing that America we did adopt, there's probably more than one thing, right? Oh shit, it says no audio, can't hear the panel. All right, hold on. Oh shit. Oh shit. This whole time, the panel's muted. Really? Give me a second. Really? All right. What happened? Give me a second. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. All right. Let me. Okay. All right. All right. He says he finally sees it. He says he's ignoring us. All right, what's up? Do you hear the? Hey, I need y'all guys to talk and let me know. You can hear me. All right, all right. How's it? Do you hear them now? Still muted. Like I don't even know what the fuck. Like what the fuck happened? Like is. Let's see. This isn't good. All right. Like I don't even know. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like what? Let me see something. This is absolutely insane. Like this is. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. This is what's so fucking annoying with this PC. Like nothing's changed. Like, it's not like I did new settings or whatever bullshit. Like nothing literally changed. So now I gotta go on this wild goose chase on why you can't hear it. Like this is absolutely asinine. Let's see. This looks alright. Alright, can you guys say something? Oh, hold on. Okay, I don't see voice meter. Yeah, you guys. Let me mute. Go ahead, say something. Whoa, you gonna say you're gonna stay muted for that one. All right, let's see. Why is this? Mm. All right, hold on, guys. I know you guys, the chat can hear me, right? It's the panel members that you cannot hear. Oh shit. All right, chat. How about 9? You hear the panel now, chat? You got to. You're like fucking Windows, bro. This. Oh my god. Oh shit! I don't do a goddamn thing, bro. Like this is ridiculous. Like.
PC shit. Forget it. Shit's always changing.
All right, hold on. Keep talking, guys. Let me know if the chat here.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Just say whatever. Just complain about PC and how it sucks.
Yeah, PC sucks.
Absolutely.
We should ditch Windows in always. Every single time.
PC is the only platform where you can't play Grand Theft Auto 6 day one. How about that?
There you go. It works. We're back.
All right, let's get it going. We're 20 minutes late.
God, this fucking.
I should have been here early. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
Technically, I was here early. I showed up early.
Puertorock on DEI time.
Sweet baby ink got to him. Sweet baby ink got to him.
No, it's that they threatened me, man. They threatened me, man.
No, it's Super Porno Bros, man. They trying to take you out. That's hilarious.
That tweet kind of like got out of hand.
They were viral.
I just did it as because I like the picture. So first, when I saw the picture, it was just me, right? And I'm like, all right. I said, this is pretty funny. Let me add Dark to this, right? And then shout out to one of my followers. They gave me this picture, like this is Super Porto Blues. Super Porto Blues. Got the Puerto Rican flag. You got me and Mario. So everybody see that shit, right? So y'all thinking, this is cool. So I'm thinking, I didn't really think it through. I just made a joke, right? I'm thinking, in my mind, everybody's gonna get the humor. So I put, ladies and gents, Dark, and I have an announcement. We are in the works of a new podcast. Stay tuned for Super Proto Bros podcast with Rock and Dark. In my mind, everybody just can see the humor, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First comment, Tim Dog, are you brothers? Oh, so that's going to be an awesome podcast. You guys are good podcasters. Excited for this. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Yo, dare I say there's levels to this. Yeah. Your brother that man looks like Luigi. I hope y'all serious. Yo, this should be good. And I'm thinking, that didn't go through in my mind the way I thought. Because I thought, in my mind, I honestly think everybody was going to see humor. But I'm like, people are expecting a podcast. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this is not a serious announcement. No, there's not going to be a podcast. This looks great. Hosted on Fridays. Gotta get loose. Yo, even people who don't normally watch my channel, Xbox dudes, they're like day one. I'm like,
yep.
What the fuck just happened? Nobody's laughing. Everybody's like, yo.
They ready. You have to do it.
I'm sorry to say, guys, that was just a joke. That was like, oh my bad. That's like
streets wanted.
Yo, it's like me trying to sell some fake stock on a product that don't exist, and everybody's all about it, and I'm like, oh shit, we really got to make this product.
Exactly.
People really want this shit. What the fuck just happened?
It's out there now. You gotta do it now.
Yeah. Oh shit! They say you already committed to no turning back.
hey, P-Rock, if you didn't show that tweet, I thought you said Super Porno Brothers. I was like,
oh hell no!
Well, now you ruined it. Now you ruined it. Now we can't do it anymore.
Yeah, now forget it. Now you can forget about that, bro. My man, he thought he read Bang Bros. Oh hell nah. Nah, Judge. Yeah, and fucking Craig thought he read Passport Bros. Nah.
Oh yeah.
This thing got perverse.
Wow.
Let's roll past this. We're gonna roll right past this. Yo, Craig, what's going on, my brother? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Appreciate that. I'm off tomorrow, so I can stay a little bit longer.
All right. Okay. Hey, yo, Blaze, you better get your punk ass up in here. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Get your ass up in here, Blaze. Appreciate the super chat, but you need to be up in here. I need your expertise up in here. But I'm glad. All right. Cool, Craig. All right, going down the line. Yo, Extreme, what's going on?
Hey guys, pretty good to be here. Listen, what have I been playing? I've been playing Immortals of Evium, still chipping away on that. And there's a few other games I'm looking forward to, so, life has been good.
Okay, cool. So this week I finally will be able to start playing Final Fantasy Rebirth. Now people are now people are gonna be like, oh, I bought it day one, but people are thinking why I didn't play it because I knew Square Enix was gonna do patches to improve performance and all that stuff. So they did the first major patch. I'm thinking I'm gonna wait for one more major patch. That one more major patch is gonna do one or two things: either address like issues with with like trophies or something, whatever, or it's going to be another major patch. Either way, after the second major patch, I'm going to start playing it. And they just released the second major patch, but it was all just issues, taking care of issues like glitches, trophy support, couldn't get certain trophies. And that's when I knew, okay, the next patch won't come for months and months and months. I'm happy with the next level patch. So, yep, I'm going to get into that. But one game I recently did beat, I beat 2 games back to back. Actually, I beat because I just had it. I kind of did what Extreme does. At a certain point, you're just gonna have to go to the backlog and just beat it. Because if you don't, you're never gonna beat it, right? So 2 games that I had in my backlog that I just said, you know what, let me just beat it. Was Star Wars Survivor, Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, that's good.
In my opinion, they actually did a huge improvement over the first one. One of my biggest. The first one was pretty good, but one of my biggest complaints was it just didn't feel like a Star Wars game because the character felt slow in terms of fighting, attacking. Like, I understand it's like soulish, but you're still a Jedi. And I'm like, man, this guy.
Well, he was fighting people from the High Republic era, and those guys could flat out fight.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's slow as fuck. No matter how powerful you got. I'm like, damn, like his movements, his attacks. I'm like, man, this motherfucker's slow. Even the dude from Bloodborne had faster moves than this dude. I'm like, shit. But I was like, it just didn't feel like a Star Wars game, and I just hated that feeling. But then the Jedi, he's just much better. He's much more athletic, much better movesets. It was really good. And some people say, well, it's because he was more of a Padawan in the first one. Now he developed his skills, and he's a knight. And I get that, but sometimes that logic don't translate well as a gamer. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, no, they're right. Yeah, but he was fighting people from the High Republic era that had been in stasis. They could really fight. Like they could really get down. So yeah, he did seem a little bit that's a good point. I think that was done on purpose, but I understand what you're saying. I get
it could have, but it was a much better movie, All right. Yeah. Yo, J-Dub, what's going on, my brother?
What is going on, my brothers? Everything good, man. Can't complain. Being honest, man, it's ever since the console war died, ever since Xbox been
gaming sucks. We're in a rut.
No.
You see that?
It's in a rut.
We're in a rut, dog.
Isn't it funny?
I wanted to say
how that works.
Yeah, games in a rut. Yeah, it's in a rut because we can't console war. We can't talk about it. If you're talking games, you are out your mind in a rut. Yeah. It's like, yo, I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of shit to play. There is a ton, or at least if you're on PlayStation, I would admit definitely. But that's I gotta balance this and my VR, and VR's dying, but there's still a lot of good shit on it. I'm like, yo, there's a lot of shit. And Stellar Blaze coming out when 2 days?
Yep.
2 days?
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Is it tomorrow? I thought it was tomorrow. If you had
Is it 24th?
No, the embargo is up tomorrow.
Oh, that's what it is.
At midnight on Thursday, leading into Friday. So yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. Been playing a shitload of games, man. My normal rotation: Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Helldivers 2, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and of course, I had to. Jump into the Sea of Thieves beta, the definitive edition on PS5, and that's dropping Friday as well.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And that Helldivers 2 though, J-Dub gave me the honor of driving the mech. And the mech was fine until I ran out of ammo. J-Dub was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I think I'm out of ammo." But I called in an airstrike. I got to call in the B2 a couple times. That was pretty cool. I did. It was pretty fun. Yeah.
Me and Craig was on Helldivers this weekend, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's always fun.
As he should.
Right. But one thing I'll say, Puertorock, a lot of this, especially my content that I provide on Twitter. Ever since the big guys left, man, ever since Crap Gamer, Tim Dog, and Post Up, and the rest of those guys,
they retired.
Flag. It's you know what I'm saying. It's things are kind of crazy. I mean, it's kind of boring, and I don't really respond to all the new dudes they're out there just talking just to be talking. I mean, they don't have no fucking games.
So in terms of just shit talking, right? You know, because that was really the main thing about the console. A lot of people,
yes,
I'll be honest, and I'm seeing some of those. Like I'm seeing content creators. I'm like, does this person realize it's a game of shit talking, trash talking, all that stuff? Like people don't really like. I mean, there are people that really give a shit, right? And you can tell they're unhinged, right? Right? Yeah. And there's some people that are passionate, like Tim Dog. To me, I always thought Tim Dog was very, very passionate, right? And stuff like that with fanboys, right? But then you got the crazy stuff like that. But for the most part, especially what you do, what I did and stuff, it was to make it funny, entertainment, and throw the jokes, get some memes, get some good videos out there, you know, some pictures, you know, make some whatever. But I'm noticing there's some people that took it serious, or they're just acting a little bit crazy, right? And then also what I'm also noticing, and this is happening a lot, when I say happening a lot, but I'm noticing, I call them the Xbox refugees, right? The Xbox refugees seeking asylum in PC Nation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm noticing, but the thing is, they're bringing their stupidity to PC Nation, and I'm noticing little by little PC Nation is adopting the idiocracy that they are bringing with them. Like PC Nation and be like, whoa, hold on, brother. You're a fucking idiot. If you're going to come here, on this side of the house, we actually have smart conversation. We look at the reference, we talk truth, we speak facts. If you're going to say some bullshit, back it up. Don't bring your bullshit. Don't bring the bullshit that was the downfall of Xbox to this side of the nation if you're seeking asylum.
Exactly.
No, that's not what's happening. They're like adopting and arguing the very stupid points these Xbox refugees are making. And now, it's blowing my mind. I'm watching this. I'm like, bro, don't you see? Like, I'm looking at some of these PC content creators. I'm like, don't you see what's happening? You're getting this flux of refugees. Now they're watching your channel, or they're retweeting you, and you're getting a bigger voice, but you're saying the stupid shit. So now you are looking as dumb as they are, because they clearly didn't learn. It's just weird, man.
Yep. Because you know why? Because their favorite pro Xbox guys left. They left them without any crazy content. And they're walking around looking for a leader. They're walking around looking for somebody who's going to hold the line, you know. And at this point, there is really nothing else to argue about. Once your games go to the other person's platform, it's over. Plus, on top of that, your games are running better on the other person's, the weaker console platform, right? So you lost the power. You lost the power narrative, and then on top of that, we're a few days away from being May, the 5th month of the year, and your platform of choice has yet to release a single game this year, while the competition is getting all these fucking games every week, and it's just, so what else is there to argue about? Like, it's over. It's over. It's washed, and so that's why I don't know, man.
So exactly. So some of the content creators and whatever, when the thought was Xbox was going to be competitive in the traditional sense, right? Try to actually go at Sony, create titles, get exclusives, game third-party exclusives, and all that. You had the bigger content creators and Xbox content creators doing their stuff. Once this thing is happening, they bailed. They either completely bailed in the sense of, and they either completely bailed and said, you know what, we're going to PC, and we're really no longer going to talk about Xbox as a console and how we think the console is going to go forward. We're going to just talk about it from the sense of the business corporate decision, and how the corporate decision is going to make Xbox gaming, just in the sense of the games, better. Doesn't really matter about the console. So you see them already adapt that, right? Then you got guys like Tim Dog, Crab Game, or whatever, who are very passionate about the console and how that is. They'll still play Xbox, but they're completely, disappointed in the direction they're going, and they're voicing their opinions, right? So you got,
which I respect. I respect that.
Absolutely, because they put a lot of energy, conversations, and thoughts and content in the fundamental idea that Xbox was going to try to get back into a competitive console landscape, right? And that PC and all this stuff was just methods or tools or just concepts that would help them assist that by getting more money doing other measures
into Xbox.
But usually when that money goes back into Xbox, it's going to be used to reinvest into the console and get back that limelight, right? But that clearly didn't happen. So you got that group, right? And then you got the group of the followers that followed guys like Tim Dog and all the bigger content creators, right? But even those guys step back too. A lot of the bigger Twitter content, they just did Twitter content that always argued, whatever for Xbox and stuff like that. They don't do that no more on my timeline. They're like gone. Like I hardly see anyone make any comment on my thing because it's like whatever, it's over, whatever. But the few that are doing it right now are idiots because they make some of the stupidest points ever. Like it's not even worth replying. I agree. Like I see points being made. I'm like, I'm not even gonna. Like, ugh. Like, is this it? Is this what's left? It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, like I said, it's like
bro.
that guy in the cave after the Second World War. And they find him 8 months later, and they're still thinking the war's going on. Like, yeah, this is over. But
it's like Mike Tyson facing Logan Paul. It's like, is this?
Yeah, that's in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Is this really it? I guess is this prime time now? Is this the new prime time? A WWE version of boxing? Like, is this it, bro? Like, man, how far we gone? Like, is this who I'm left with? Like, is this who I'm really fighting? Like, it's not even worth talking to these guys, right? And then you got these. It's just a different dynamic, whatever, and stuff. I see what you're saying, but the judge, what's going on there?
Man, I'm all right, man. I'll be better. As I said a little bit earlier, I finally pulled the trigger and getting a 4080 laptop, but I got to go back out to Villanova to I'm not even going to say the name of the store because they did something so stupid. They basically provided me with somebody else's information, give me somebody else's data on my computer. So it's like, man,
was it a new? How is it a new computer you bought to use? You bought
I bought a new computer. I bought a new computer
with somebody's information already on it.
Nah. So what they did? Was I took in my old laptop as well, and I paid for data migration.
Right.
So I had to come back the next day. Now how I get somebody else's information? You know what, P-Rock and everybody? I don't know how they did this, but I swear it's like, I paid for incompetence, man, because I was like, damn, that's $100 wasted. Whereas I just could have, did the work myself as opposed to having somebody else do it. And now I got to spend another 2 hours driving back and forth from my house in South Jersey back to over in Villanova in Pennsylvania to, to go to the store for them to, to fix this shit, man. It's like,
here's my question. So you use your older laptop to migrate your information to the new laptop or to the new laptop, right? That's what you did? How do you, are you confident that they treated your information securely?
Yeah, I hope so. Man, I hope so, man. Because I hope so. I didn't even think of that, but I really hope so. I really hope so.
Because if you got somebody else's information, you could reasonably someone got your ass. They got the judge. They got the judge, dog.
I thought you said that I can reasonably sue. Yes.
You could reasonably assume that your shit compromised. You better ask those questions. Be like, hold on. If I got Becky with the good hairs information on my shit, where's my shit at? How I know you ain't done the same shit to me? Your shit's all over the internet, dog. Like, shit. I wish you the best of luck, man. Hopefully your shit isn't.
It's cool. Yeah, I hope so too, man.
All right, brother. Hey, thank you all for joining up. Hey, to the chat. To the members, welcome. 60 Frames No Like podcast with, of course, your only friend is YouTube Streets. Me, Puertorock77, aka Super Proto Brother. Not Puerto Brother, not Porn Brother, Puerto Brother. All right. All right. Oh, man. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to get kicked to it, but we're going to start off with the chat. We got Silverback. He says, why not? Seriously, do it. It's Doc. Listen, I would do it. If little bro says, hey, little bro, because he doesn't have a podcast on his channel, right? He's stuck in the laundry, flexing his, his biceps, and I told him, like, hey, bro, we could do a podcast on your shit, get that shit going. I guarantee it's popping. But listen, man, listen. Our DNA is thicker than our DNA. Okay, blood is thicker than water. Okay, he's going through it right now. But that's why I don't got it. You notice I don't go at him because he he's going through it, man. My little bro, he's hurting right now. Once again, he goes in. He's like, bro, time and time again, you tell me and I never listen. I'm like, I know, bro. You never listen. Remember Becky with the good hair that you met up in Newark? Told you not to mess with that girl.
North Jersey, something else.
Right? Come to find out, her great grandfather was a grand dragon of the KKK chapter.
Oh,
you didn't notice how they were looking at you funny? I told you, bro. When they invited you to a picnic, I was like, bro, don't go to that picnic. Thank God you listened. Thank God you listened. Mm-hmm. When Grandpappy invited that picnic, I'm like, bro, don't go to that picnic. Don't go to that part of town. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to me more, bro. Listen, I'm always here to take care of you, bro. Like, damn. He didn't want to listen. So he's going through it. He don't want to hear my shit. Because he feels it's a lecture. He's tired of that shit. But, that's why we try to keep him there in Puerto Rico where he was safe. He was safe there. He had his mangoes. He had his coconuts. You know what I'm saying? His rice and beans. He had everything he needed. But nah, he wanted more. He wanted the life. He wanted that Xbox life. And now look. Man.
Damn. Yeah.
Stay strong, Doc. Stay strong. We got SNK. He says, I am the Dominican Wario. Doc's doppelganger. We're going to need one of those too. All right. And of course, we got Blaze. Sony baby. I notice now they have the like button under the super chats. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's fantastic. All right. Make sure you hit the like button on the channel. Well, to be honest, they barely hit the like button on my channel. They're definitely not going to do it in the damn chat. Like, shit. It's like pulling teeth. Anyway, let's start with the topic. I'm going to try to get this out with a straight face. So, word on the street is, you know what? I'm just going to have to show it to you guys. Because I could explain it, right? But sometimes visual imagery and sound does a better job than explanation. Like PowerPoint presentations and graphs and charts, videos and all that stuff, right? All those things are just, they just flow better. So right here, I got a quick glimpse. It's like 12 seconds of Rare, the developers, Microsoft, their first party premier developers. Mind you, they never, listen to me, they never made a PlayStation game ever. Ever. While they were on the Nintendo, yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck. Nintendo would rather see World War III than to see one of the developers even touch a PlayStation game, right? World War III and nuclear warfare would happen before that day comes, right? Then Microsoft, however it be, acquired them. And then, once again, they never touched a PlayStation. Never. Everything was pure Xbox. And then, of course, with the introduction of the Series X and S, they were as first party, as part of the, the idea of what they would like to see from Xbox, do this, do that. They know all the tools, everything. These are one of the developers that they know everything about their own console, right? But when they finally got their hands on the PlayStation 5, SDKs and stuff, and this is the first PlayStation they have ever worked on. They have never touched anything PlayStation before. This is apparently a clip that somebody got from that first moment of when Rare touched a PlayStation, and I'm about to show it to you all. And this is their reaction right here. Just listen to that. I want you to listen to the enthusiasm. It's short, but just listen to what they said.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details. And
there you go. That's their reaction.
Yeah.
It was just perfection. It was perfect. That was their reaction. Like when they had the SDK, they're like, this is perfect. Like right down to the minute detail of this SDK, it's just perfect. They couldn't believe technology exists to the level of perfect. What they witnessed and got in their hands was magical. They couldn't conceive such a well-developed console that people has the privilege. Rare felt this was privilege for them to make a game. Like it was just like they felt, you know what? I think we need to pay Sony to make games for PlayStation. Like, yeah. Microsoft, you need to pay like the 30% cut. No, it's 100% cuts plus proceeds. Because the privilege to make a game on this is just thanks enough. Right? And when they developed Sea of Thieves with such perfection, the beta code already had enhancements over the Xbox version. Beta. The game's still in beta. They still have things they need to fix and improve, and somehow the game's already outperforming the Xbox version. So I'll start with Craig. Craig, can you listen? Craig, this is the 12 flop beast. This is full RDNA Xbox Series X with all the RDNA 2 features.
What very the quickly, fuck happened? I asked somebody about this, and they just said with Sony, you have to understand that they when they did their PlayStation, the ability to stream the data is the advantage they have. So it's just a matter of the developers learning how that operation works, and that's why you have better shadows, better textures, things like that. That's because of the way the information gets sent and set up. So it's just that's pretty much what I was told by a friend of mine's son who's a software developer. He just said, "Well,
so
pretty
the
much
magic of the SSD. That's what we're doing here."
Well, no, I don't think it's just the SSD.
It's the magic of the SSD.
No, it's not that. It's just they have a system that's just more balanced. I mean, if you build a PC, you're going to go for balance. For the most part, you're going to go for balance. So, but you know, and Xbox has, again, they have more. And I've said this: if you play Gran Turismo, when you get your first car, it's the stock. It's got all the stock parts. That's the Xbox. It's got all the stock parts. The PlayStation actually has custom parts. So imagine playing Gran Turismo. You put the car in the car shop. Now you start adding things, taking things off. It gets lighter. It can get heavier. That's what is going on, is that they just have a better overall console. And it's just better balanced. And so, but when you're streaming assets in, you don't get this is the way they make their games now, which is what, shout out to the late, great Optimus Code. That's what he said. You know, if he said they spec the consoles, so, and I'm paraphrasing him, if you want to make games like right now, this was 4 years ago. So you want to make the game right now, the Xbox is going to give you the better stuff. But 3 to 5 years from now, the PlayStation is going to, he said, reign supreme. I believe that's what he said. He said the PlayStation is easier to develop for, and because they stream data in, it's just going to be the better platform for the multi-plat games. So, and again, that's what you're seeing. It's not a fluke that you're seeing this. So this was predicted, and it's coming to fruition. Now, didn't the Xbox community with Dealer Gaming and RDX Podcast say they were going to boycott the developers because they're not, developing for the Xbox correctly, and the tools and all that kind of stuff? It's just the tools have always been there. It's just that the console is subpar compared to the PlayStation. Doesn't mean it's a bad console. It's like I've always said, hey, Xbox is Dan Marino, and the PlayStation's Tom Brady. So it's not that Dan Marino's a horrible player. He's just not Tom Brady. So, and I love Marino.
So J-Dub, Extreme, I got an alternate theory on this whole thing, right? And I want to and I want you guys to see if my theory occurs. In my theory, the reason why the PlayStation version, even if it's just by a slight bit, is outperforming Xbox is because I truly believe what the Xbox are saying is that developers are just not truly putting in the time to take full advantage of the Xbox.
I agree.
They're just not taking the time. They're lazy. They don't know
Yep,
the architecture.
does.
And so Rare's just like every other third party. They're not taking the time. I hope people can
Also, Sony pays them.
Sony paid them. They got paid. Yes, they got paid. Rare got paid. So Rare got paid to hold the Xbox Series X version back. They're not taking the time. They don't understand. Right? I really hope. You know what? I hope somebody understands the sarcasm I'm having here, but I have a feeling they don't, and I'm about to get clipped. But anyway, what are you two? What do you two think? We'll start with Extreme. What's up with this?
Yo, listen. You know what I think this is? I think it's an embarrassment. I don't even care why. I don't even care why. You know what? It's so embarrassing that I didn't even make a video on it. Because at a certain point, you're just punching down. You know, you're just like, you know, it's just like, why are you like the person is already hitting himself, and are you just coming in and then you lay a few more smacks on him? It's just like, you know what? I can't even be bothered. Listen, I don't care what the reason is. I just know that whichever team is losers enough to let their own technology, their own software, or their own product perform better on a competitor's product doesn't deserve my business. That's it, that's all. I do not understand how... You see, the thing is, it's fine for Phil Spencer to make this decision, yeah? It's fine for Rare to do this if they want to. Sure, no problem. But the people who are defending this, and they are talking about some weird RDNA thing, or they are trying to explain it away with the magical power of the SSD or the mystical, you know, charm and charisma of Mark Cerny, I'm just like, no, it doesn't matter why. How about you just, you know, leave the platform? Just leave it. Because if they disrespect you so much as to let the competitor have the better version, like, take a look at Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves is running better on the PS5, that's one thing. But it's also a far better game than it used to be. So it's like you guys better tested this thing, right? And then they make it run better on the PlayStation. And then on top of this, yeah, PlayStation gamers can get exclusive skins that you on Xbox cannot get. That is the part where I'm like, what? No, hold on. Because why did you have to do that? You could have made it so that, okay, PlayStation gamers, you guys can unlock skins early, no problem. You guys can get a welcome pack, no problem. You can even get a free battle pass, sure. But you get exclusive content. I'm sorry.
The hilarious part is the counter I seen to that was, well, Xbox got exclusive content you can get on PlayStation. I'm like, and my response is, but that's what's supposed to happen. It's your own first party. You are supposed to get shit that PlayStation don't, because it's your own first party. Yeah. There's no parity. It's Xbox gets exclusive content, PlayStation and Nintendo just gets default content. Anything exclusive is strictly Xbox players or PC, whatever. But that's how it's supposed to be.
It's like, you know, when you went to your friend's place, and then the mother was like, hey, do you want some pie? And you're like, sure, I love pie. And then your friend was like, hey, mom, can I have some? And she was like, no, you're not getting any. Your friend is getting it. And you're the friend, right? And you really want the pie. But you're just like, oh, I kind of feel bad. Like, why would she say no to you? You're her son. Doesn't she love you? Why does she love me more? This feels awkward.
Oh, this
so yeah, Xbox gamers, tell me in the chat, why doesn't Microsoft love you more than me? Like, honestly.
Oh man. Yo, J-Dub. Oh, he disappeared. Oh, I think he's on the.
They couldn't let him have a turn.
I think
it was already bad enough.
I think he's on the phone with Totoki right now. He's trying to make sure. You know, PlayStation games
Helldivers doesn't go.
Don't go to Xbox. It can't go to Xbox. Exactly. I think. Yeah. Exactly. Stuff like that. I'm gonna say with my thing, right, and then let me say, and then we'll go back to Jada when he appears. So to make the conversations a little bit more serious. Yes, the differences that PlayStation 5 presented is minute. Better shadows, yada, yada, yada. In the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? No, it really doesn't, right? It's not going to ultimately make the game sell better or worse or whatever, right? I mean, Hogwarts Legacy it had a shit ton of sales, and that's absolutely the worst version among all the versions that are out there. But nobody give a damn, right? Nobody give a damn about the PS2 graphics of Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch, right? So in terms of those graphics, performance, and all that stuff is whatever, right? No one really cares. So many people ask, why is this even a topic? It's not that big of a deal. It's only a little bit of shadow. No one notices. You have to zoom in, and generally they're right. But the argument isn't the actual improvements itself. That's not really what the community is doing when they are talking about this, talking shit and whatever. What the community is doing is we're getting this trending so that way the people who lied and misinformed the community on the technology of Xbox and the technology of PlayStation and how lopsided with their lies they were, the community is holding them accountable and reminding them that they were a bunch of idiots for what they did. The lies that they spread was pathetic and all that stuff. That's what it was about. It's pretty much the best way I could put it. Imagine I'm gonna use soccer, football, right? Europe, the world's number one sport, except for America, right? We're the odd country out. But I'm gonna use soccer so that way, for the European audience, Australian audience, everybody. Imagine somebody was bragging about Team Xbox in the World Cup versus Team PlayStation, and that the teams are so lopsided because of just the skills and the players and the coaching. The Team Xbox has all the advantages in every way. They're predicting like a 7-1 victory in the World Cup, right? Be lucky if PlayStation can even get 2 goals at the end of the World Cup, let alone even think they're going to compete with Team Xbox, right? So prediction 7-1. Favor of Team Xbox because they have all the best players, the best planning, the best strategy. In fact, people are even questioning on how Team PlayStation even got to the World Cup. How are they even there? Like the validity of Team PlayStation even being at the final stage of the World Cup is in question. That is even questionable, right? So the World Cup begins, and right off the bat, Team PlayStation scores the first goal. And it is absolutely shocked. Everybody's just like, wait, what the hell? They're winning 1-0, so they make excuses. All Team Xbox got jitters. They misinterpreted the play. Their game plan that they practice. They all had it confused. They're gonna work it out. They're gonna get together, whatever. Then, as the battle goes on, back and forth, the World Cup ends, and Team PlayStation won 4-3, and it was based off a penalty kick. The game ended up tie, and it came down to penalty kicks between the two teams. And PlayStation was the one to get the one penalty kick to win. So it was 4-3, very close game, and it came down to penalty kicks. So now the people who swore Team Xbox was going to dominate 7-1, they're now coming back saying, "Oh, it was a close game. It wasn't really that dominant." Like, no. It was that dominant. 4-3 was complete domination because according to you guys, they were not even supposed to score 2. Let alone actually win the match. That's why this is a big deal, right? Xbox Series X was propped up to such high levels of performance and power, right? To such levels of performance and power, 40% delta, like everything, full 12 tree flops, full RDNA suites. It was propped up so high that to even think PlayStation was going to have better shadows, no. People didn't even think PlayStation would be a 60 FPS console. That's how bad these lies were. PlayStation 5 was supposed to be the 30 frame per second console, while Xbox was the 4K 60 with ray tracing console, right? So
that's what
the little shadows is a big deal because it's not supposed to happen. And then, not only that, and let me throw a plot twist. Team PlayStation lost all their managers. So in order to play the finals, they fired the assistant manager of Team Xbox and says, "You know what? We don't like you anyway. Get your ass to Team PlayStation so we could just whip your ass." And he ends up looking at Team PlayStation and is like, "Holy shit, this is an actually really great team. I think I could win this." And they win. So your own team is proving you wrong. That's the big deal. Your own first party team is telling you PlayStation is an amazing console and can do things better. Even if it's just slight shadows, the actual developers on their first go. They only had a year time with this console, and they're already showing you they can do things better on the PlayStation. Even if it's just a little bit of shadow, it is still better. It is still showing that, holy shit, this console got some shit up in here that can really work out. That's why this is such a big deal, because we're not even supposed to be anywhere near this conversation, especially with your own first-party game. And that's the whole big deal about this. That's the reason why this is a big deal. Microsoft's own first-party studios are proving that PlayStation 5 is an outstanding, competent platform, and yes, it can do things better than the Xbox Series X. That's why this is it. And you cannot, and that's why I was being facetious before about, oh, the developers aren't taking their time, they're being paid off, because that was all the excuse you Xbox fanboys was using. Xbox fanboys were all using the excuse of they're being paid off, developers aren't taking the time to do it, or it's being held back because PlayStation is the market leader, instead of just simply admitting, you know what? PlayStation may have built fundamentally, holistically, a better console and SDK environment to get the console to run games amazingly. Overall, they just come up with a better strategy. Microsoft's own first party, and not just the third party side, right? Because you could still argue Bethesda might be a little bit biased or whatever, something like that. But Rare, who never made a PlayStation game ever. Since the inception of PlayStation, they never touched it. And on their first go in just what, maybe a year, maybe a little bit more, let's say a year and a half, and they're able to pull this off? Come on now. This is absolute embarrassing for all the shit talkers in the Xbox community. The absolute shit talking, lies, and misinformation that was spread. And for me, the biggest thing about this is, and Craig was around, we had, you know, rest in peace, Optimus Code. In 2020, we tried to have serious conversations, you know, critical thinking on this, right? And he brought up great points. He's the one that taught us. Like, you have the paper specs, but how does paper specs come into real life performance? Well, you gotta have the compilers, the tools. He says even the actual developers themselves, how skilled in these tools are they used. He says there's so many layers into taking paper into real world performance, you know, and sometimes something on paper, you just can't do it. You know, all the things you need is just not there. It's just not as good as advertised. So we tried to have these conversations for real. And the Xbox side of the house, they just did the basic. They try to shut it down, try to say copium. Oh, you're just a PlayStation fanboy. They're trying to tell Optimus Code he's a PlayStation fanboy. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? Yeah. Because they believed in absolutes. Like, they couldn't, like, fathom that the paper specs may not pan out in reality. You know, from paper to game, something might go wrong or something might not be right in that process, in that journey to create games, right? So all of that was shut down. He was tagged as a pony. We were tagged as, you know, or anybody in the community that was tagged just simple. Like, you couldn't have critical thinking and critical analysis. Like, you couldn't have those conversations because they were considered copium, PlayStation fanboys, all that stuff. You know, they're hurting and all that stuff. But now they want to pretend they weren't that side of the house, right? And that's why I antagonized the shit out of them. Because when we tried to have the conversation seriously, they didn't want to be part of it. They wanted the absolute. They want everybody to submit to an absolute of, no, Xbox will have the better performance games. It is done. It's on paper. Accept it or you're a fanboy. That was their attitude. Yeah. And now look at them. This is why we're doing this. Because that's how it was. You couldn't engage in conversation, right? And it's not like we wouldn't bring up points, you know, the compilers, the tools, how well the developers are going to be able to, you know, have the skills to actually do it. All of these are valid points. But back then you couldn't do that. You had to accept the absolute truth, their truth of Xbox is going to do it better, end the story, deal with it. If you can't accept it, you're just a fanboy Sony pony. But now look. Yeah. And now that would be like, man, even your own first party is able to get more out of it and run their own games better. I'm sorry, that's going to happen, right? And I will say it's because of how that community on the Xbox side, they set the template. You couldn't have conversations. You had to submit to everything in Xbox and actually see it 100%, or you weren't part of the community. And I'm not saying be a part of the community. You just couldn't have the conversation. You couldn't be on a podcast to talk, have a counter view, and bring up critical thinking. Nope, critical thinking was not allowed. If you even attempted critical thinking, you were just a fanboy. blew my mind the direction the community was going, where critical thinking meant you were a fanboy. Absolutely insanity. But now they're paying for it. And that's why I'm glad all this shit is happening, because this is absolutely hilarious. I just love it that they say it. And every day something like this comes up, I know they're seeing it, because you can't avoid it, right? It's coming up on their timelines. They're hearing the conversations, and they know that I know that I know they're stupid. Yo, and I have tons of receipts. It is absolutely insane, and it's just beautiful how this year is turning out. Oh my god, it's perfect down to the last minute detail. 2024 is simply perfect. Yo, absolutely perfect. It's fucking perfect, man.
Yeah, it's lights out, and then they were told that they were just a bunch of pretty men, and we know what happens to them next. So, I'm still trying to figure out what happened to these Xbox podcasters who talked about 12 T-flops and 52 CUs. I mean, I just looked up one, and apparently they haven't posted anything since for like 6 or 7 months. So it's just crazy, and but yeah, they were wrong, and I told people, I was a guest on a Crossfire with a Mooch and Company. Shout out to the Mooch. That these guys they talked a lot of cash shit, and now people want their pound of flesh. So the best thing for them to do was just to stay off the internet. Just go play your games on Xbox or PC, whatever. But the fact that they're building PCs now, they're just saying, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get myself a PC and things like that, and what kind of PC should I be trying to get? That's what Xbox wanted them to do anyway. They wanted them just to migrate over to PC. So, and that's what they're doing. And as you talked about the stupid comments and stuff like that they're making, and the PC people picking up on it, they both want the same thing, which is the end of exclusives. Now, that's different from what happened a year ago when Starfield came out. They were talking about how great exclusives are, and they understand why. King David saying some stuff like, well, I understand why they need it, and all it gives you is this, and it's just like, yeah, y'all cheeks are getting busted now, so they just let it happen. But if I were them, I would just stay off the internet and play the games. That's what I would do. I'm not advising them.
Oh, J Dub left. He got. I guess that phone call was way important and stuff like that. But it's just absolutely interesting. So if anyone tries to tell you dismiss this conversation, it's not so much about the improvements. It's just this just certifies that even Microsoft's own first party can see what the PlayStation 5 does, the development kits, just how well it's made. That it even gives them certain advantages. Even if just slight, but it does give advantages with their own games over their own Xbox. And that's just absolutely insane. Like, that is just bad optics. But what's even crazier, I don't think Microsoft even minds. I don't think they even care at this point. Like, all right, so
they clearly don't. They clearly don't, because they didn't have to do this. He could have, you know what Phil Spencer could have done? He could have said, hey, listen. Just handle that shit to 57 frames per second. Just give us that. Just give us that headroom. Don't. What do you do? Just handle it. It's fine.
Just
fine.
do something quick and get it out there. Do something quick.
Exactly.
Hell, they lucky they even got it. Just
exactly. No,
it's just.
No, it is crazy. It is crazy. And the thing is, like you said, it's about the principle. Yeah, it's not so much about what the difference actually is. Nobody really cares. If you're going to play Sea of Thieves, this isn't going to stop you. But this also would have been an excuse if it was the only game from Xbox to do this, right? If Rare was just a rare case and they were just like, yeah, we were the only ones that managed to do this. But time and again, what is it? 4 out of the 5 games that they sent over run better in some kind of capacity.
All of them, yes.
On PS5. I think they just said that Grounded just came out and it runs better on the Xbox. So thank God. That's exactly what it should be, right? But every other game, from Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop all the way to Sea of Thieves and all of the other games that came with it, you're having this moment and it's inexcusable. What are you going to say now? These developers are the ones that are owned by Microsoft. So what excuse is there? There is none. Because if you remember when Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo first did the whole thing where after a year of exclusivity, they went to Xbox and they were running worse. People were scratching their heads left and right to try and figure out the reason why this would be the case. But it was built for the PS5, so therefore that's why it ran better there. But now you have these games that are undeniably built for the Xbox games and console first, and now they're still running better on PS5. So it's like you guys are backed into a corner. There's nowhere else to go. Like, just accept it. The PS5 is the better console. This whole nonsense where people were like, "Oh, it's more powerful on paper." I always told them, "Tell me how it's more powerful without using T-flops," and no one can ever do it, because you should never use a single metric out of an entire system to be like, "Oh, that's the reason why it's better." And it's like, no, that just means that you want everything to be surface level and you don't want to think about anything, because cars are not rated based on the horsepower. If you just go to a car, you're like, "Oh, this one has some more horsepower, therefore it's the better car." You are missing out so much on what makes a car, and no one would ever take you seriously. But in the gaming community, we are forced to suffer these kinds of discussions.
Yeah,
that's a good point. All right. So let's move on to the next topic. Let me do some super chats real quick. We got Donnie Darko. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Did you ever notice how at the beginning Digital Foundry was so excited for Xbox, but when they started doing breakdowns, they got disappointed every video of Xbox?" That's what's funny. I know it's a transition, right? They were very enthusiastic with Xbox, right? Very enthusiastic. But now things tipped over to the PlayStation side. They're not as enthusiastic. It's almost as if the outcome
they wish it didn't happen
to them. Yeah, exactly. They wish it didn't happen. They wish that Xbox, what they predicted and what Microsoft said and what everybody was talking about, actually ended up true, right? But the fact that they are disappointed is weird, because I would think that they would be more excited and like really try to find out how the fuck did PlayStation do it. Like, we really gotta learn how they do it, especially right when technically speaking, you can get a PlayStation 5 for $399. Right? The only reason why you got the higher end is really because of a disc, but the disc doesn't provide any performance advantages. It's just a disc drive. That's it. So technically, the hardware of the PlayStation is at $399. How did they get a $399 box to do this and actually outperform the Xbox Series X console? You would think they would do their best to figure this out, right? But it seems like they're like, wow, yeah, just another situation where we really can't explain. Well, fucking explain it. That's the whole point of your channel, to explain shit. So explain it. But they're like, yeah, we really can't explain. They just keep saying that. We really can't explain. So explain it. Do the research. Go to Osaka, Japan, and get the explanation. Explain it. Find the explanation. That's literally why people are going to your channel. But no, they just keep saying, man, yep, another one. Wow, we really can't explain it. Like, what?
I've always said Digital Foundry are not the experts that people pretend that they are. They are not. All they do is read off what the developers have told them, and then they speculate in no way that is in any kind of difference from how you and I might speculate about the underlying technology behind things. Rarely do they ever actually have any insight, like genuine insight, into what made the technology what it is. That isn't just a marketing bit given to them by whatever developer they're currently working with at the time. So they are not. Yeah, that's exactly what they do, right? They'll be like, we don't quite understand why the PlayStation 5 is able to get all of these modes, but on the Xbox side, we are not seeing the same thing. Well, what do you think, Richard? Richard's like, well, I don't know, Birdie. Well, what do you think, Tom? Tom is like, I don't know. It could be actually the blah, 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 buzzword, RDNA 2, and then they just move along. They are not the experts that people pretend that they are. And in fact, I think they are extremely disingenuous because, again, let's face it, they have a huge Microsoft bias because Microsoft gave them access, exclusive access early on to the little magnet puzzle, build a console, starter kit. And since they were so impressed by that, they were like, wow, look at the way that ventilation works inside this box. This cube will be better than any other console anyone could ever put forward. And since Sony didn't do the same, they've always had a bias. And anyone who thinks that Digital Foundry isn't biased, I mean, listen, I'll let you live in your reality.
Yeah, they're PC guys. I mean, that's.
Oh, he back.
Yeah, sorry, man. I had to work, man.
Let's face it, you were just choosing tires for your next Ferrari. We all know what it was.
Oh man. Yeah, listen, Digital Foundry, they're PC guys at heart, right? And they'll never tell you the value that you get in console compared to PC. They'll never bring up a money issue. They'll never bring up the comparison from there. They'll just go and say, hey, for example, look at Horizon Forbidden West on PC. They'll go and tell you how it's so beautiful, it's so great, or whatever. But they'll never tell you that the $3.99 that you paid for a launch PS5, if you bought the digital version, right, not only holds up extremely well compared to PC with a 4090 or whatever, but the cost difference between how much it took you to play that game on your PS5 versus that high-end PC, you're not seeing a night and day difference. Matter of fact, they're very, very close. And I can say that because I got a 4090 PC and I also got a PS5. And while both of them are very impressive, you have to tip your hat not to the PC, not to the console, but the fact that the developers just made a beautiful fucking game. And the fact that it runs extremely great on the PlayStation 5, the fact that it has all the performance modes and the VRR and all the tech stuff that the PC offer and more, it's things like that of the nature. It shows you that owning the console is just the way to go for the cost benefit. Now, of course, if you want to crank the fidelity all the way to the max, if you want to play at 200 frames a second, then spend the money and go there. But Digital Foundry is not there to tell you that, because they make their money based on the disparities in it. It's not that they'll never tell you, yeah, you know what, we have 4090s, but there's really no game outside of fucking Cyberpunk that really takes advantage of it. And that's pretty much the showcase game for a PC, right? Is everyone always brings up Cyberpunk. Well, when you talk to PlayStation guys, they'll tell you, hey, you can boot up God of War Ragnarok, you can boot up Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, you can boot up, any, Horizon, Burning Shores. It's just a plethora of games that you can show that will show off the advantage that are gorgeous and graphically astounding and pushes the console and just the gaming market forward, right? Like, can you imagine with Wolverine? Look at Death Stranding 2, right? Running on the PS5. Look how beautiful that looked. And Digital Foundry said that was one of the best looking games they've ever seen. And that still was running on a $399 console. But they'll never tell you that. They'll tell you, yeah, I can't wait for that to come to PC so we can crank the settings up even more and hope we can zoom in 800% and find a couple of more pixels higher than what we get from that $399 machine. So, but I don't knock them. They get paid. That's their hustle. That's what they do. But I can say a lot of gamers, a lot of fanboy gamers, their enjoyment in their gaming console and their games of choice would have been better if Digital Foundry didn't exist, or if they didn't do what they do. Because a lot of people put stake in Digital Foundry. A lot of people sit around and they wait for Digital Foundry before they buy a game. Well, I'll wait for Digital Foundry. And never ever before in history did people sit around and say, hey, I'll wait for these group of people here to tell me that spending $70 is going to give me a great enjoyment out of a game.
That's what happened with Hogwarts, right? Legacy. Yep. Because they didn't want to do an initial review because they wanted to stay away with the whole, LGBTQ and the author situation and the boycott. So a lot of outlets avoided Hogwarts Legacy because they didn't want to be associated. So really, you just had to play the game on your own admission because you didn't have much to go on. There was no analysis. Yeah. Nobody really wants to touch it. There was a few reviews, but it was one of those rare times where, all right, If you want to play the game, you got no friends to whatever. You're just gonna have to risk it. And most people just jumped on and bought it. It sold a lot, and for like a good month, maybe 6 months to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, there was no conversation of what was better, what was worse. It was just people enjoying the game and like, man, this game's amazing. It wasn't until when Digital Foundry realized, wait a minute, the whole boycott movement didn't work. Okay, so yeah, so now we could get out there and do our thing. That's when the performance differences came up. But before that, for like a good month, nobody talked about that. People bought the game and played it. They enjoyed it. Whatever criticism was criticism, but it wasn't based off of Digital Foundry or anybody else. So that is a very true point. Shout out to Truck. He says, on DF analysis of Grounded today, PS5 ran it at 1215 to 1030. I think he meant 1080p performance, dropping as low as 45 FPS. On Xbox Series X 4K to 1512p, lock 60 FPS. That overshadows. Well, that's what technically is supposed to be expected.
Yeah,
like that's not an achievement. That's not an achievement. Like
it should be happening all the time.
That's Microsoft.
Congratulations.
That's probably your person up in the morning.
Yeah,
That's
Microsoft's own first party with a game meant for Xbox. And now they have to port it to hardware that, well, this is Obsidian, so I think they made a PlayStation game before. So they have a little bit of experience with PlayStation, but it's your own first party with your own first party game. Yeah, it should be better. It's literally built for the first party's own product that they were there when they designed it. So it's pretty crazy.
So instead of having 5 out of 5 games that run better and look better on PlayStation 5, now it's just 4 out of 5 run better and look better on PlayStation 5.
None of them should. None of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Phil for throwing y'all a bone.
Oh man. Well, to be fair, you did play Sea of Thieves long before the announcement. In fact, you were one of the only few dudes that actually streamed the game within the community.
Absolutely.
Even the hardcore Xbox guys wasn't even touching that shit.
Yep. Matter of fact, they were making fun of me for actually playing it and putting in the hours and the time. So yeah,
pretty funny. And shout out to Arc War Angel. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said, "Dímelo, papi, ¿cómo está? Everything's good, brother." Thank you so much. All right, everybody, hit the like button. Make sure you hit up the poll and stuff like that. So the next topic. So that one dude from Xbox Era Podcast saying that PlayStation is in preliminary, very early preliminary talks of getting Helldivers onto Xbox. We'll start with Craig. What do you think about that rumor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to use some logic here, and I put this on Twitter earlier. Ask yourself, does Sony want to sell consoles? If the answer is yes, then ask yourself, does Helldivers 2 help Sony sell consoles? If your answer is yes to that, then you just simply ask yourself, why would they put their IP on Xbox, which has a lower group of people? It's dying in Europe. It's on life support in Japan. And Phil Spencer told a congressional investigative body that Microsoft has 10 years. I'm sorry, Sony has 10 years to come up with a COD competitor. And that's what Sony has done. Now, is it as many people playing it as Call of Duty? No, it won't ever be, because Call of Duty is on all platforms. So, yeah, I'll never say never, but it's unlikely that it's going to happen. It's just that pretty much for me sums it up. They have to have something if their games as a service is going to help them do things and get people in on it. It has crossplay on it. I know me and J-Dub played last weekend. I think J-Dub was on PC. So and it ran flawlessly. So I was asking, well, how's it running? Am I janky? Am I kind of all over the place? And J-Dub was like, nah, everything's good. So yeah, it is what it is. And it's a rumor. That's why I don't really comment on rumors a whole lot, but it is what it is.
I would just like to point out that Craig is archaic. He's anachronistic. He's old-fashioned because selling consoles is the old model, and the industry is changing now. We had
you're right.
that
You're
was
right.
very adamant on how much the industry was changing. So, and also every company now is playing happy-go-lucky. They all love one another. They all want to support one another. They're no longer believing in this whole capitalist mindset of taking over market share. Now it's all about software. It's about apps on screens. So I just wanted for the audience to not be misled by your old-fashioned take.
That's about TV shows now.
Exactly. It's about the TV shows.
Yeah.
We can't comment about Fallout and how great it is without mentioning The Last of Us and how, where that stands in relation to that. We can't do that. Yeah, that's where we are now.
Post-apocalyptic. That's the only thing they have in common, and that's it. Both shows are entertaining. I think The Last of Us is better written because the characters were much better fleshed out. However, Fallout got renewed for a second season, so maybe they'll go into their characters more, the in-depthness of their characters. Man, that I don't get it. I just don't get this anymore.
Listen. Like I said, I'm ready to move on to the next war front, the next frontier, and the next frontier is going to be which show is better. But since we're still talking about console, what I would like to say is, listen, people don't get it twisted. Yeah, Sony wants to destroy Xbox. It's just like
it's that simple.
This whole thing where people are like, oh look, everybody's happy-go-lucky now. Put it on all of this, and you will. What is it? You're going to get more players and everything. You know how Sony wants to get more players by making sure that they have no other place to play. So, again, I'm like, stop thinking that Microsoft sets the tone of the industry. If Sony could destroy Nintendo as well, they would. They would be like, okay, which devil pact do I need to sign so that we can take over the mobile gaming handset as well? If they could destroy Apple with their phones, they would do that too. They are a corporation as greedy as any other, and they understand that the best way for them to give you a reason to own their software is to own their hardware is to give you software that you can only find there. So listen, PC, as far as live service games go, I believe that is just a begrudging realization that, okay, we do need to have a huge pool of players in order to make these things sustainable long term. That is a concession. If they could have done it without PC, I am sure that they would have. So, and I feel like some people would argue that they could have done it without PC. But end of the day, they begrudgingly accepted that PC needed to be a thing. But every other console, no, they will not pay the cost to port it. And another thing is that, let's be honest, it just adds complexity. As far as the developers are concerned, it's already hard enough to do the PlayStation 5 and PC. Why would you then go and try to wrangle this thing for the Series S? Because, by the way, if you're going to do it on the Series S, you might as well just do it on the Switch. Put it on the Switch, put it on the PlayStation 4. Mind if I put it on PlayStation 3? Just, at that point, you're already down in the dirt, so you might as well just wrestle with all of those pigs. So listen, I hate this gaming journalism. I don't even mind I don't even mind Special Nick for putting this thing out there, right? He's doing his thing. I think it's completely bonkers, but whatever. He thinks it's his due diligence, or he's doing it for whatever reasons he wants to do it. That's no problem. That's fine. If we just stopped at him, it will be fine. But now every other outlet wants to report what he said without doing their due diligence. None of them go, you know what, we double checked with some of our sources and we found out that it was complete bogus. Or we double checked with some of our sources and we found out that this actually could be a thing here. None of them. All of them just go, on Xbox era, Special Nick, well, no, what would they say? They would say known and reputable insider, Special Nick, has informed us that reportedly, allegedly, possibly, but maybe not, but also potentially, this could or could not, or may not, or can or cannot, or could or shouldn't happen.
Well, so I think this whole thing that's coming up with Helldivers, and I think let me explain something to the community. And once again, I'm a reference The Boys. Now, any of y'all seen the show The Boys on Amazon? Y'all seen?
Yes.
You seen all the episodes? All right, everybody in the chat, hit one if you saw the episodes, and let me know. And hopefully,
you don't want to do spoilers.
Yeah.
Is this a spoiler section? You're about to spoil
No,
it?
it's not a spoiler. No, I'm not gonna spoil it. Well,
Okay,
maybe, but this is not really a big spoiler. It's not really a big spoiler. But there's one episode, a specific episode, when Homelander, I think this is probably season 2, maybe. He's all about, he's the top dog. Vault is the superhero company and all that stuff. And he confronts the CEO, Giancarlo. What's Esposito? The actor
Esposito,
who plays, great actor. He's the CEO of Vault, right? And Giancarlo Esposito, the actor who played the CEO of Vault, he's just a human. But of course, Homelander's Superman. He's bold, so he's making his move. And the CEO of Vault put him in his place because he told them, "We're not a superhero company."
Yeah,
that's what the world perceives them to be. Because they do all these services with superheroes, they have all these shows, they have contracts with the government and all that stuff. But he told them, we are not a superhero company. He goes, what we are.
I do remember that episode. Yeah.
That was something else. Yeah. Yes. So what he said was, what we are is a pharmaceutical company. We make drugs. That's what we do. You guys are a product of our laboratories and pharmaceutical capabilities, right? And Homelander didn't understand, or he finally realized what the company was really about. He didn't like it, but he understands. I say that to say this. Yeah. PlayStation is not a gaming publisher. That's not where most of their money comes from. In fact, their own first party, if you were to look at data from the past and what they presented, in game sales, revenue, first party at their peak makes about 20% of the overall annual revenue. In just game publishing sales. Okay? If you look at the number one revenue source for PlayStation, it is money transaction, add-on content, primarily powered from their third-party partners who has games on PlayStation and obviously has, reoccurring revenue. They sell add-on content, all that stuff. And the 30% cut that PlayStation gets on that, it provides them the majority of the money. Their second amount of revenue is their hardware, right? Now, granted, the profit margins are small and minute, but a majority of their revenue is from hardware. That's their number 2 revenue. Their number 3 revenue is game sales. It's full out game sales, digital and physical. But the lion's share of those game sale revenue is from third party. If you were to split the first party, I don't even think first party game sales even equal to subscription revenue that they make every year. I think I would put that maybe 5th if I were to separate it. So if you were to separate everything, number 1 would be money transaction, number 2 would be hardware, number 3 would be third-party software, number 4 subscriptions, number 5 PlayStation first-party revenue. PlayStation is a platform holding company that links gaming to the household via their storefront. Yep. Notice another way I could put an example is Valve. Valve is making more money not being a game developer than they were when they were game developers. Yeah, they don't make games no more. Valve does not. Gabe Newell doesn't make games no more. He stopped making games. Yeah, he's making more money than ever because they became a platform provider, specifically a storefront called Steam, and that makes them immense much more money. It's the service provider. It's the link from the gaming industry to the gamers, and the portal is whatever that platform is. And for PlayStation, for Sony, it's the PlayStation console. But these guys are trying to look at PlayStation as a first-party games provider, as if they're Take-Two, EA, Ubisoft, Capcom, simply because a former platform provider is changing their stripes because they can't be a good platform provider. Microsoft couldn't make Xbox a good platform provider. They couldn't get people to buy it. They couldn't get people to buy enough content. Their Game Pass strategy probably hindered the console. So all these things going wrong. So Microsoft is completely changing into an actual games provider. Like EA, like Take-Two, like Tencent and all them. That's the transition Microsoft is doing. But people are confusing Microsoft's transition with everybody doing that transition. But when they say everybody, you're really only talking about 3 people. Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony. Because EA is already a games provider. Ubisoft is already a games provider. The majority of the industry, they're all games providers. There's only a few platform holders. And again, those platform holders are primarily Microsoft, at least in AAA gaming that we are, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Only one of those 3 has fully pledged commitment to bringing more games to more platforms, which include Nintendo and PlayStation. Sony and Nintendo made no such commitments, right? Because they, like Vault, are a pharmaceutical company. They want their platform to do their stuff. Now you can say Nintendo does a more bigger job of their first party being at the limelight, right, than Sony, right? You could argue that, right? But the fact that they keep their games exclusive to their console leverages them more powers, because a lot of their games, they stay at $60 for years. And there is nothing you can do about it because you can't get the game anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right? And there's not a lot of carbon copy type games that are similar to Nintendo. Like, there is really no good carbon copy game of Zelda or a carbon copy game of Mario or Metroid, right? There's no knockoffs that you can get an alternate. Like, sure, like let's say Horizon Zero Dawn, great game, but you can play other, third-person RPGs that are similar and get a similar experience, right? Same thing with other games, right? But with Nintendo, they have a very unique style that if anybody try to copy it, it looks really bad. They can't really capture the magic of a Mario game. They really can't capture the magic of a Zelda game. You understand what I'm saying? Definitely can't capture the magic of a Super Smash Bros. Brawls. And people tried, but they just can't capture that magic. So Nintendo knows they have the magic, and there's only one place you're going to get that magic, and that magic is going to stay $60 for years. And then maybe after 3 years on a Black Friday sale or holiday sale, they'll take 50 cents off the top of the retail. So now you'll pay $59.50. There you go. There's a special deal for you guys and stuff like that. Really? PlayStation Nintendo is a pharmaceutical company. They're in the business of leveraging the industry's, gaming third-party titles, right? Trying to flow it through PlayStation and say, hey, you're gonna enjoy all this stuff plus with our exclusives, right? So the exclusives that PlayStation have is like Vault and the superheroes. That's the showpiece so everybody can see, oh, look, we're great. But on the backside, what the world don't see, they're a pharmaceutical company. That's who they are. Okay? The glory and the glamour and the commercials is the first party, but when you think about the amount of first party Sony can possibly make, for every one PlayStation first party title they make, how many third party titles are out there at the same time? 20, 30, 40 titles? For every Spider-Man they make, how many AAA games already made that same year that's on PlayStation by third party? In order for Sony to actually be a true gaming publisher as their main business, they're going to need to do what Microsoft did and bump up to like 50 studios. Because you can't be a games publisher making 2-3 games a year. That's you have to make more content, to push it out if that's your focus. You have to find ways to push out games, lots and lots of games, if that's going to be in your main business. But first party game sales is not even nowhere near the top. So whatever decisions, like Extreme says and Craig said, it's based on the console, because that's where all the money is at for them. And it's not the console itself, it's what the console brings for them. It brings people to jump on with their PlayStation, say, yo, I want to play Call of Duty, I want to play Fortnite. Hey, I'm about to spend some money on bunny ears and all that stuff. Sony benefits from those decisions. Sony benefits from those decisions when people say, I'm going to buy the expansion pack of Destiny on PlayStation and not on Steam or not on Xbox. It has to happen here on PlayStation. If it doesn't happen on PlayStation, then they don't make the money, right? When people play Fortnite, Sony wants people to play Fortnite on PlayStation because that's where the cut comes in. That's where the money comes in. Yep. PlayStation is a pharmaceutical company, and they're going to make base decisions. Now, with the whole PC thing, they are teetering they're teetering on the line. Do I think PlayStation will go day and date? I think if PlayStation goes day and date, it's because something bad happened that that we probably didn't have privy to see, but they forecast something, right? But I don't see them doing day and date anytime soon. As long as the console's selling, the games are selling, the third-party titles are selling, the subscriptions are nominal, and things like that, right? I think, especially now, with the conversation of them trying to push Helldivers, Sony's definitely not going to do any of that stuff. Absolutely not. In fact, I still think Sony is still going to do third-party deals. They are going to. They're going to accelerate the death of the console, right? And I'm not saying I'm cheering it on or anything like that. By no means I'm not cheering that on. I'm just telling you the reality. Just like Extreme says, they're a greedy corporation, just like everybody else. And if I work for Sony, I clearly see the opportunity to completely destroy Xbox consoles. So that way it comes down to just two products, PlayStation and Nintendo. And Nintendo's so far off their own world that if you choose Nintendo over PlayStation, it's because you never really liked PlayStation to begin with. Nintendo is a far departure on what they're doing. They're nowhere near doing what PlayStation's doing, just like PlayStation's nowhere near. So it's like, it's like, buying a car versus buying a boat. Two completely different aspects. Sure, they're both vehicles and they both have a purpose, but they're completely different in their scope, right? Sony wants to be the only car manufacturer. They're more than happy with Nintendo being the only boat manufacturer, and got what it is, right? With no Microsoft and no Xbox consoles, with every step that the console just keeps dying, all those 20 million or so, 30 million or so Xbox gamers, they have a choice. They either go to PC, which some have, or if they are truly a console-only gamer, like many claim to be, well, your choice is Nintendo or PlayStation. And most of them are not going to go with Nintendo because they don't really have the games that they really want, especially when it comes to third party, right? They'll go to PlayStation and they're not going to miss out because they're still going to get the Xbox games that they like. Plus now all the PlayStation content. And now Sony gets all that extra revenue for being a pharmaceutical company. They're going to play Fortnite there. They're going to play Call of Duty there. They're going to play Madden there. All the big games, all the third parties, all the additional content is all on there. So I guarantee Sony wants to swallow whatever little Microsoft has, primarily in the United States, and just dominate the United States completely. And Microsoft really doesn't care. They're going to let them do it because Microsoft is no longer a pharmaceutical company. They actually embrace being a superhero company. They want to look like the good guy. They want the world to see them as, yes, we are the ones providing games everywhere. Love us. Just enjoy the fact that you get to play our games on whatever device you want. We are no longer the bad guy telling you got to do it here. They want to be the superhero company. Sony wants to stay the pharmaceutical company and stuff and just pump drugs in you. And that's the best way to explain it. So this Helldivers, right? Unless Sony is thinking about publishing games on Xbox, right? You're not going to put Helldivers on Xbox because this is not going to be a one-off. A decision like that is not a one-off, especially when you have a successful game like Helldivers that they haven't had a multiplayer success in years. I don't think not since SOCOM has Sony had a multiplayer this big. Not since SOCOM, because Resistance was never this big. Uncharted multiplayer was never this big. The Last of Us multiplayer was never this big. None of their multiplayer games was ever this big, at least from the shooter type perspective, right? None of them. They haven't had something this successful since the PlayStation 2. And you think one of their most successful multiplayers they ever had since SOCOM 2, they're going to give it to Xbox? If they put this game on Xbox, let's say Helldivers 2, it is not a one-off decision just for the sake they want to be friends and look like the good guy in the gaming community. Because to tell you the truth, nobody in the gaming community is asking for this other than Xbox. People say, oh, Xbox and PlayStation gamers are uniting. Man, get the fuck out of here. Ain't no PlayStation gamer gives a shit if Xbox gamers get to play this game. Like, no. Especially after buying ABK, you have PlayStation gamers worried if they're going to get Call of Duty. And how did the Xbox guys say? Well, too bad, get an Xbox. And they're like, what? Why the fuck do I got to get a whole console on a game that's always been on PlayStation since 2007? So you think those same PlayStation gamers you said fuck you to are gonna feel empathy for you? Fuck no. There is no empathy. Worst case scenario, PlayStation gamers don't care. They got it. They're playing it. Whatever. So worst case scenario. Best. At best, they just don't care. Whatever happens, happens. At worst, they're giving y'all the middle finger. They're like, fuck you, thinking you're gonna get Helldivers on Xbox, right? And that's why this don't make sense. If Helldivers goes to Xbox, it's not an isolated event. Something bigger is happening. Because you're talking PlayStation, one of their biggest games in multiplayer, and you put it on your competitor's console? Why? Why did you do that? And don't tell me it's, well, it's such a great popular game, and we really want to be loved by everybody. No! Bullshit. What are you really doing, Sony? You're doing something more. This is not going to be an isolated incident. You're planning something if they did do that. That's why I don't believe it's coming. Sony's going to first, make that dead horse into glue. They're out to make glue. They're going to make glue out of Xbox. You best believe they're going to make glue out of Xbox because the last standing region that has a little bit of clout is America, and Sony wants all of America. They want it all. So they're going to go after it. What do you think, J-Dub?
Let me tell you this. I find it very ironic the people who watched FTC court trials on C-SPAN, who egged on a $3-4 trillion corporation to go and buy the industry. I find it very ironic that these same people are now begging for PlayStation games, now that their platform has continued to fail to deliver for them. I don't think it's going to come to Xbox, and for several reasons. For one, this is just a big. It doesn't take a smart person to even think about this logic. All you got to do is look at Xbox sales. They're an extremely small install base that, according to Digital Foundry, according to everyone else in the industry, shows that they just don't buy games. They've been conditioned to wait and get games in a free service, right? In a cheap service. So they just really don't have the pedigree to actually go and buy games. Whereas Sony fans and other people, Nintendo fans, they don't mind going out and buying games that they deem worthy. Xbox, on the other hand, they'll sit there and say, well, we'll wait for it to come to Game Pass. And they do. They'll sit there and wait. So not only is it an extremely small stall base, but they don't buy the games. So, and then for number 3, they only wanted to come to Xbox so they could say, ha, your games are coming to us. We're in misery. We're in hell. We're agitated about it. And we want you to be just as miserable and agitated just like we are. Like when all of their games went to PC, they weren't happy about it. You had Crap Gamer. He went out there. He told Phil how he felt about it or whatever. Anyway, it happened, right? It happened. It is what it is. All of their games, 100%, went day and day years ago, many years ago, right? Mm-hmm. They still never liked that. They still don't want that. But it just so happened that it is what it is. They can't do anything about it. So for all of these years, they've been wanting Sony to do whatever, all the pain and misery that they're in, they want Sony to join them so they can say, you have to join us here at the bottom. You've lost your games. You've lost your exclusivity. You've lost X, Y, and Z. Now you have to suffer with us, right? And Microsoft's strategy dealing with Xbox has failed. This is why it's in the position it's in. This is why, the numbers speak for themselves, right? Both of their next generation consoles are getting outsold by the Dunny D box with the Kinect, right? Whoever thought that was going to happen? But it happened. And so I don't see Sony there's no win for them there. The people are not going to buy it. They see it. They don't even buy their own games. What makes you think they're going to buy your games, right? So I don't see that even being a non-starter. It's just another. And I said this earlier. The gaming streets is dry. The big Xbox guys, they've already left. They've already thrown the white towel. They've moved on with their lives. It's over. Now you have the scavengers of the community. They're trying to come and trying to keep this shit going. and they're failing miserably at it. If you're gonna sit there and beg, which I find it ironic again that Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella are the one that brought all of those fucking Xbox games, those 5 Xbox titles over to PlayStation. PlayStation gamers didn't beg for them to come. They offered them to PlayStation, and PlayStation guys, because they buy their games, they went out and bought Sea of Thieves. They went out and bought Grounded and some of these other games, right? In the Hi-Fi Rush. But it's a sore spot. That's all it is. It's just a sore spot. These guys are miserable. They've been miserable since 2014. And we've been seeing this, right? We've been seeing this every single day, every single month, every single podcast. We've seen this. And so I'm at the point, like, we should stop paying attention to these guys. I hate that all of these all these publishing, these media companies, they go and publish all this goofy shit. They know it's fake news. They know it's dumb. They know it's not going to happen, but the streets are dry. And these guys, don't they get paid like $20 an article or something like that? I think we found out from IGN
like
to a leak or whatever.
Yeah,
they get paid $20 an article, so they're going to do whatever they can regardless. It's funny how, you know, people like me, right, poke fun at the console war, and I have fun with it, and I do it, and I post what I post out there. I see these guys taking some shit that I done said, right, some fanboy shit that I done said, and they run with it, and they post articles about it, and I'm like, dude, if you know what I do on a day-to-day basis and just how my humor is, you know I'm just fucking bullshit, but you're supposed to be the true credible source. The standards for media is dead. These guys, I think they saw that some of us have a little bigger voice or a bigger following and stuff like that, and so they look out and say, hey, you know, let's copy what this guy is doing, or let's copy that, and we're going to run with it, and we want to get paid in X, Y, and Z, and it's classless, it's tasteless, and it's dumb. But the console war is over, man. It's unfortunately, man, some people are going to have to find a new hobby. This shit is not cut out for them.
Shout out to Therapy Quantified. Thank you for the super chat. They are really only talking about PlayStation. Xbox fans don't give a shit about Nintendo. I would say part of that is because Nintendo, there is no even, it's not even worth the energy to even try, because Nintendo is definitely hard line, right? They don't play. They will sue you. They will destroy you. They will go after you. They have a clear messaging. I think the reason why PlayStation is constantly discussed is because they are making games for PC, right? So that always opens the door of, well, you gave a little, well, you could get a lot more. And then they did the PlayStation overlay where you can do trophy support. So you gave a little bit more, so that means we're going to get a lot more in the end. So PlayStation is kind of doing it to themselves, right? Because while I can make my stuff is just what I think, but I ain't making no hardline statements, because you really never know what PlayStation's ever going to do, right? You have no idea. All it takes is one guy to be in charge with a completely different mindset, right? But all these little things do open the door for something, right? I think just PlayStation in the future, right? Whoever their new CEO should make sure that their message is clear about their plans, in terms, at least, you know, that the focus on the console. What I mean by focus on a console, they're not going to put the developers in a situation Xbox did with their developers, going day and date multi-plat, because that does impact the quality of your platform, right? And it's not, again, we said this 100 times, it's not, oh, you guys are just mad because you let other people games to play. No, that's not the point. The point is, the people who make the console, if they go day and date multi-plat, then that console that they created, their expectations, the custom software and all that stuff, is for nothing, because they have to cater to another platform that they don't control. You have to. You cannot go day and date, work side by side with various hardwares, but favor one specific hardware, right? And if you tell your developers, hey, this is the new normal, you will always make games on PC. You will always try to figure out the various configurations of PC and all that stuff. And they're going to come out the same day. So both games have to launch. You have to patch, QA test, all that stuff. Then over time, they're going to make the job easier by producing consoles that's closer to PC and less custom, because they don't want those huge spark differences that they have to try to figure out. One example, there's an article from Digital Foundry when they interviewed Nixus, when they ported Spider-Man. Nix's was detailed in talking about all the stuff. They mentioned that the PlayStation has, custom stuff that doesn't even exist on PC, so they had to create it from scratch just to translate it over. That's how customized these consoles are. That there's technology in a console that that PC don't have, and that's not to say that makes console more advanced. That's not the point. The point is they customize stuff for the console to get the best performance of the console. That's how you have to look at it, right? And it could be something that's not necessary on PC, because on PC, again, since it has various architectures, various components. If you want better stuff, you just buy a better GPU and a CPU, and boom, there you go, problem solved. Console's not that simple, because once that console's created, that's it, you're locked in, and you're not going to see nothing more powerful until you buy a whole new console, whether it's a mid-gen refresh or a new generation. That's it. Those are the only two options. PC, if you're not really liking the performance, you want something better, hey, just buy the better hardware, and boom, problem solved. So there's a lot of stuff that console has, PC doesn't need. It just doesn't need that, because it relies on the power of the components from different manufacturers, from AMD, from Intel, from Nvidia, all that stuff, right? Console makers have to build consoles. They want to have it some level of capability to produce great looking games. They're gonna have to customize it. It can't just be put AMD components, slap it in a box, and ship it. That's not gonna work. It's gonna be a very poor product. They have to customize it. They have to, add that special sauce to really make it work.
Yeah.
But that's a far departure from PC. But if you tell your studios this is the new normal, you are effectively PC developers, day one, then you're just a multi-plat dev, so you might as well do things the multi-plat way, which does not benefit the console gamer. It just doesn't. Multi-plat development benefits the PC gamer in the sense that you on that side, on that platform, you are able to get the best version of multiplats. You're not going to get the best version of multiplats on console. Those multiplats are not going to get the most out of your console. It's just simply not. That's just how it is. And we've been telling people that was going to happen to Xbox. We've been telling people that having your first party developers make day and day games on PC, that doesn't benefit Xbox console gamers. Oh, it will, because game sells, and that money will reinvest back into Xbox, which means more games and just more things for Xbox. And look what ended up happening. Now, consoles flopping, they're flatlining. Microsoft, the rumors of Microsoft, we'll just go into the next topic. This is a good segue. So listening to Xbox 2 podcasts, Randall Thor talked about a great point. He had a great point. Putting Steam on the future iteration of Xbox hardware, and just to let me do the last super chat. Shattered Glass. The only way PS put Helldivers 2 on Xbox is if they get first dibs on Halo Gears of War package for PlayStation before Nintendo, but that's coming regardless. Exactly. I think Halo and Gears is coming regardless, especially Halo. Halo's really dying on Steam. They need a resurgence. But there's rumors of how Microsoft's going to handle the most technically advanced Xbox ever. Some people are talking about kind of like a third-party model where Microsoft creates an OS, and now manufacturers could create their own version of Xbox based on the Microsoft OS. So Microsoft creates the OS-like Xbox model, and then like Asus or Acer or Dell, they'll create the Xbox console with whatever hardware configuration they want. And then also talks of allowing PC-centric store apps to be on the console, like Steam, Epic Game Store, the full shebang. Randall Thor made a great point. If you allow Steam as an app to run on the new Xbox, and it runs flawlessly, right? You launch the app, you click the game on the app, and it runs on the console. He said, then why make an Xbox version of that game if the Steam version already runs on Xbox, right? And for like a quick second, I'm like, wait a minute, what's he talking about? So I had to like pause, re-listen, and then I'm thinking, oh, I see what he's talking about. Now here, just in case, and this is for audience, so I can reorientate to what he's talking about. Right now, you have an Xbox version of a game that runs on Xbox, right? It plays on Xbox. You have the Steam version, PC version of games that runs on Steam, runs on the Epic Game Store, and you have the PlayStation version, right? Microsoft decides for their next console, you know what? We're going to figure out a way to tailor our operating system to easily run Steam games, meaning the PC version. So that way we can have Steam and Epic Game Store on our console. No different than the PC have. So they do that. They release a new Xbox, and now you can download the Steam app and the Epic Game Store app. And when you boot up the storefront, you are now playing Steam games. So now you have the entire library of Steam games. For the future of titles as a third-party developer, let's say, us three are third-party developers, right? Traditionally, J-Dub, Extreme, me, we would make an Xbox version of game, Steam version of game, or PC version of game that, Epic Game Store and Steam can have, and the PlayStation. But now, I talked to Extreme and J-Dub, they're about to make the Xbox version, and I'd be like, bro, why are you guys making the Xbox version? And you guys like, well, to play on Xbox. But I'd be like, bro, Steam is already down there. So the Xbox gamers could just play the Steam version. We don't gotta make an Xbox version no more. Just make the Steam version. Steam, we know, is on every Xbox. We're gonna force the Xbox gamers to buy the game on Steam. Why are we gonna put the extra effort simply because of another store? It's on Epic Game Store, it's on Steam. They could play it there. It saves us money. We don't have to make an Xbox version. They got access to the Steam version. So now, all these games, they're not making an Xbox version where you have to go through the Xbox store to buy it. You have to go through the Steam store. That shit, Steam is the end of Xbox. That will be the final blow. You guys understand what I'm talking about? There'll be no more Xbox version of games. Because every Xbox has Steam. So you're playing Steam version of games. Meaning, if you buy an Xbox and you want to play third-party games, you have to have a Steam account. Because they're not making an Xbox version for you. There's no point. You could get access to the Steam version, which saves us or developers money. It saves developers money. They only have to worry about two platforms, PlayStation and PC. You made the job easier. So PC launches on console is a death sentence. If Sony did that, death sentence. Why would you make a PlayStation version for? You could just make one version. If Steam is on Xbox and PlayStation, they technically only have to make one version, PC, that's it. And let the console gamers, you just gotta have to go on the Steam app to play it on your console. It'll be a death sentence. So what do you guys think about that? Because that's a great point.
Well, listen. I'm not even sure where this. I think this came from Phil Spencer originally because he said something akin to the fact that
that he was open to have other storefronts.
Yeah, other storefronts on the thing. And the thing is, I'm just like, listen, this is such a dumb idea that it only could have come from Phil Spencer. I don't understand what it is with this man.
Yo, like just sometimes just shut up, bro. Like stop doing interviews.
It's just like he talks so much. He just talks so much that he runs out of things to say. So then he just says the next stupid thing that comes into his mind. Like I'm sorry. It's like people will say, "Oh well, you don't know how to run $1 billion company." No, neither does he. Neither does he. Okay, that's the truth. He hasn't been running for 10 years. Neither does he. So if he's in that position, I'm allowed to speculate too. Jesus Christ. This guy has been killing this platform slowly for like 10 years. But he's allowed to talk about stupid things and I'm not. Oh no, I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to.
He said he's been killing this goddamn brat for 10 years. Fuck that. I'm gonna have a say.
Jesus Christ. Bro, listen. This entire thing is not that difficult to grasp, okay? At the very beginning of it, it's not that difficult to grasp. You want a storefront in a customer's house so that they buy other things through your platform. In order to entice them to choose your box over another box, you offer things that can only be found in your platform. And you know what? In the 360 days, that could have just been features. Xbox Live was a feature unto itself. It was a killer app unto itself. The problem with technology is that other people can always replicate it. And
I always say that.
You just, yeah,
like you can always copy features. Features can be copied, but great games cannot.
That's exactly right. And listen, if you step your foot off the gas just a little bit, they can supersede you. That's the real problem with just going with features, right? Especially in a hardware platform that is going to be locked up for like 8 to 10 years. You know, this isn't phones where Apple can just come in and then just keep pushing ahead marginally every year so that they stay ahead of their competitors. So no, you can't rely on just even if the Xbox had been the most powerful console, and I mean if it truly had been the most powerful console, even if it had a 30 or 40% delta, this still would not have made it so that the Xbox automatically won the generation. Because why? That delta would have been locked, and eventually the reality would have set in, and it would have been what it is. But then people would have said, okay, where are the games that I'm going to play? And Spider-Man still would have been a draw to PlayStation, right? God of War still would have been a draw. What would Xbox have had though? Like what? People were going to sign up to Xbox for better frames than Grounded? No, they were not going to. So even in that reality, the hardware was always going to take you so far. So you were always going to need the exclusive games in order to really push these things forward. The thing is, Phil Spencer, for some reason, just wants to take away every single thing that makes the business model work. Okay? And people are like, oh, it comes from Satya Nadella. It comes from Satya. It's Satya's fault. Listen, Phil Spencer was doing dumb shit before Satya ever got the seat. Okay? So stop blaming it on one guy. And even if it is because Satya is like, hey, listen, why did Phil Spencer go to him and be like, hey, give us $100 billion, so now you have to have a say into what happens in this side of the thing. This doesn't come for free, guys. Money isn't free, even from your own parent company. If they invest more and more money into you, they're going to want more and more say. In many ways, you know, even the guy who created the original Xbox, who is part of the original team, he said that one of the things that annoyed him and the reason that he left is that when the Xbox original was being put forward, he had complete control over everything, basically. They literally just gave him the keys and they were like, do what you can. But then when the Xbox 360 became a super mega popular thing, suddenly other people in other divisions of Microsoft wanted to have a say into what Xbox was doing. And he was like, the fuck, you guys don't even understand what we're doing over here. Stay the fuck away. And that tension is one of the things that got him to leave, because he was like, listen, I've already made my money. The point is, Phil Spencer went and he sold your soul to the devil. He sold Xbox to Microsoft again. And he was like, now give us more investment. So now Satya and his ideas that do not work for gaming, now they have more of an influence and more of a say. He should have protected Xbox from the rest of Microsoft, and he failed in that regard. So this whole idea of Steam going on Xbox, yes, it's going to kill Xbox, but to be honest, P-Rock, isn't it already too fucking late? Like, who is going to buy the next Xbox? And what are they going to sell you on? They can't sell you on hardware power, because for like, this will be what, the third or fourth time around that them being more powerful than hardware has done nothing. The One X was clearly superior to the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Did nothing with that. The Series X was supposed to be more popular, more powerful, or whatever. Did nothing with that. So if they come to you, what else are they going to do? If they are on par with PlayStation, you get a PlayStation. If they are less powerful than PlayStation, you get a PlayStation. If they are more powerful than PlayStation, you should just get a PlayStation. Because if they're going to put the games on PlayStation anyway, what are they going to sell you on? Like, it's already dead. You know what I mean? Like, it's to the point where it's like, okay, we're just going to choose how this game ends. Like, we're just going to choose our final failure. Is it going to be Steam? Is it going to be the hybrid console? Is it going to be a handheld? Is it going to be a Switch competitor? Is it going to be, like, what you say, P-Rock, where it shouldn't be as powerful than PlayStation? It should just be something in the middle? It's just like, what is your final path to doom? Like, how do you want to die? Basically,
like, I don't know. Yeah, like, at this point, I don't know what is left for Microsoft.
The king has sentenced you to death, but he gives you the choice of, okay, do you want to be stretched out by the horses? Do you want to be hung? Do you want to be shot? Do you want to be shot with a gun, an arrow, a cannon? Like, we'll give you the choice. You will die at 12 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh shit! It's just, yeah. I'll be honest. At this point, I can't now predict what I thought I did. But this whole Xbox debacle stream stuff or Steam stuff, it's just so far out that I can't even. Oh shit, Sony baby. We got Blaze. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, Blaze,
Yeah.
what up?
Hey yo. Uh-oh, we didn't hear you. Is it me or is it not? It can't be us.
My fault. All right, yeah. I was just listening to
I
M
was about
do
to
his
say,
shit.
God damn, my shit is dog shit. Now we catch what's going on, bro. Damn, Braze got that Starship Enterprise set up and shit. He got all these
Oh,
buttons
it's always a cool thing, man.
Look
It's
at that,
always-
Bro.
like I love watching his setup because it's like watching the behind the scenes of a production. He provides the behind the scene look. So you see that little nice glowing keypad to the right with the wavy lines going down. He has all this advanced shit that I'm like, holy shit, this guy's running the Starship Enterprise. Like right here. Like I just got like dog shit voice meter and shit like that. This dude got all these advanced crazy shits. I'm
You
like,
know what,
yo,
though, P-Rock?
What?
That all this fancy shit don't get people to watch you. The shit don't matter.
Well, they need
That's
to
a
watch
fact.
you, bro. Solid Cast is solid, bro. Great show, man.
No, I'm not saying
If you
me,
didn't watch
but
it,
this
sorry,
shit can't
I know
save
what
you.
mean. Yeah, so I'm just
But I'm
saying,
watching
man.
M. Yo, M be getting me. Like, I'm watching the show, I swear. I'm drinking my coffee, just watching. And I'm like, yo, he's spitting some heat. I gotta join him now. Like,
Of course. You
As
know
you
you're
should.
always
As
welcome,
you
bro.
should.
You know you always
As
welcome.
you
no, I know. I just don't like jumping in and just derailing the show. Like
You
you
ain't
know.
got a diva. This is 60 frames, no lag. We keep it consistent here.
Fuck that, bro.
We got
We're never on the rail. That's the
Shout out
thing.
to my
You
guy
can't
J
you
Dub, bro.
can't
I love
derail
J
where
Dub.
there's no
What's up,
rails.
my brother?
We got
How y'all
SNK.
doing though?
Doing good. We got SNK says Xbox fan be like, well, third time is a charm. So, hey, my brother, man, what do you think about? So I know you heard the rumors, right? Conversations about Steam next to Xbox could potentially have Steam as a client, Epic Game Store, that Phil Spencer's willing to open up the Xbox console environment to all these PC-centric app stores, right? And Ran, in his Xbox 2 podcast, shout out to Man Outdoor, he mentioned that Steam could potentially be the final blow for Xbox, because if you have a native Steam app on your console, and when you open up the Steam app and the games work, then why would a developer even bother with the Xbox version for the Xbox store? It's a waste of time. The console already has a method to play the game. It works, it runs. So they only got to make the Steam version, the PC version, and there you go. That's the version you're going to play, Xbox console gamers. You're going to have to go to the Steam app on your console and buy it there. Because we're not going to waste time to make a version that's running on the same box. You see what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? You think, does that idea now sound terrible? Because at first people thought, oh, that's great. But when you think about it, that could just be one more thing that's just going to kill the console when Microsoft realizes, holy shit, no one's buying anything on the Xbox store. We're literally not getting no money out of this deal because everybody.
I don't understand why Xbox, the Xbox division, continuously wants to make the console irrelevant. They continuously add features and implement shit that makes the actual box irrelevant. And then they talk about Game Pass and all the numbers, and you put a Steam app on your Xbox, bro. That's ruining your ecosystem. That's fucking up software. I just don't understand it. At this point, it's like, I don't think nothing... Bro, look at all the acquisition, everything they've done, all the fucking... It's like they can't... I don't think they can rebound from this shit. I think they're on their final moments, bro. This is them throwing shit at a wall, hoping that it generates some sort of interest. But
it's the wrong shit.
In my opinion, I think it's over, bro.
Yeah. It's the wrong shit. Now, once official, they're making a Meta Quest Xbox-centric headset for a Meta OS. What the fuck is going on with that company? They are doing every decision that does not actually benefit the console itself. There is no console-centric based decision that actually amplifies the console. It's they're trying to give so much stuff that where you lose focus of the console. You're just losing focus. Oh shit, Xbox is, doing their own headset. What is it? Oh, it's a Meta VR headset. Does it have anything to do with the Xbox other than the name? No.
I have a question. Will it plug into an Xbox at least?
I don't know. It's a Meta OS. I don't know.
Because that would be one thing, right? If they got like a third party to basically make a VR headset for them, where a person can plug it into the Xbox Series X and experience VR, that would be cool.
I don't think so because it's Meta OS. It's not an Xbox OS.
What's happening is Microsoft is giving other people shit that they should have been given to Xbox people. They promised high fidelity VR for Xbox gamers. Now they're going to go and support Meta Quest and give them games and give them the UI and the shit that should have been happening for the Xbox gamer. So that's what's happening. If you can't find how fucked up that is, I mean, bro, that's
so Jacob, you're telling me Microsoft is supporting Steam. They are supporting PlayStation. Now they want to support Meta.
Yes.
So the only people they're not supporting is Xbox.
The Xbox console gamers, absolutely.
Shout out to
Dark. He basically said that.
Listen, a few months ago, I said this. I said that I have every single way to play Starfield besides an Xbox.
Absolutely.
And now it's like Microsoft is like, yeah, you know what? We're just gonna lean into that direction. They could get Starfield VR. And they could run on the Meta, but then not on the Xbox itself. That's crazy.
Imagine if Microsoft makes a VR version of Forza in Halo.
Yeah.
For MetaQuest.
Yeah, exactly. And then you don't get it on your Xbox.
But VR is irrelevant. It's going away. VR is dying. There's no interest for VR, right?
Well, now you're gonna see interest. Watch. If Microsoft makes VR versions of certain games and puts it on Meta, you're gonna see them hype Meta.
That's how VR should do all along.
All along. They're all gonna love it. You're gonna see, bro. Am I lying, Blaze? You know it's coming. It's gonna be a podcast. Xbox ecosystem now includes Meta. Watch. I promise you. Meta's gonna be
the fact
Xbox
that
ecosystem.
Dudes are DMing me. I'm not gonna say who. Shout out to you fucking bots out there that are DMing me. Blaze, Xbox games are selling better than. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck that Sea of Thieves is selling well on PlayStation. That's great for PlayStation. I don't
exactly.
These dudes they're trying to attach any positive to their fucking platform. They're trying to attach anything. That's why they're willing to accept anything.
What they fail to realize, right? By having Xbox games on PlayStation actually selling well and doing well is enticing Satya and Phil to accelerate bringing even more games to PlayStation. These guys, that's why I said, I tip my hat to Tim Dog, Crap Gamer, and all of those guys that kind of have built up the Xbox brand and the following and stuff like that. Those guys saw this shit coming a mile away, and they called it out, and they jumped ship. It's over. The only fucking asshats that are left are these new dudes that are new to this shit, and they it's not even fun anymore. It's not that's why I don't really reply back to them. It's over. I mean, you're these guys are like the scavengers of the console war. You had all these years to participate. You wait till the shit is over to try to come and try to leftovers. It's over. So
what's funny, J-Dub? Just like you said, just like you fucking said, dog. These dudes are throwing this shit. All Xbox games are selling better on PlayStation than PlayStation. Bro, do you understand what that means? If these games came out on PlayStation and they sold net, they weren't selling. There was no interest. Yeah. Xbox is probably gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't invest any more time into porting games over. Now they see this shit. They see all the interest. They see all the sales. You guys, if I'm an Xbox guy, this should scare the fucker. Oh my god, dude, they're about to bring over fucking Halo, bro.
Exactly.
What are y'all talking about?
They know because when a PlayStation game sells great on PC, they use that. Oh, more games are coming because you see they're selling great on Steam. But then when you try to apply the same, but they don't apply the same logic on the PlayStation. Exactly. They have a totally different energy, and you can't listen. you can't shit talk about another dude who's fucking your wife.
Facts.
That's literally. Oh, you had to take her out to the restaurant for her to suck your dick. Okay.
Yep.
I guess you get it for free. I have to pay for it, but she's still sucking it. Like, bro, you can't talk shit with a dude that's banging your wife. There's nothing you can say to him. Doesn't matter if he's spending more money on her. Doesn't matter if he bought her jewelry. He's banging your bitch. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what's happening here? Like, it's just weird when I see that, all these Xbox games are top sellers on PlayStation. Like, do people say stuff when Rockstar is like the number one selling game on PlayStation or EA or Madden? No, because they're third party. So that's why it's like crazy to see them brag that Xbox games are selling on PlayStation. Like, listen, I hope you remember they shouldn't be selling on PlayStation at all. They should be exclusive.
They shouldn't even be there. They shouldn't even be there
at all. They should be exclusive to your brand. The argument's not about Xbox games versus PlayStation games on the PlayStation Store. Because if that's the new console war, this shit's over, bro. We might as well shut down our channels. Just keep it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not arguing about the battle of the top PlayStation selling games on the PlayStation Store. Like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
You know what I always think of it like? It's like, you guys love sports, right? It's like you have this amazing athlete, okay? And he plays for a team, and for years, these fans are telling you this guy is one of the greatest athletes in the game, okay? Years, and nobody believes them because the team somehow always loses, okay? Then he gets contracted out, okay, to like a really, really popular team, like a really well-doing team, and therefore he becomes a superstar in the game. And I'm like, yeah, our athlete, we've been told you our athlete was great. And you're like, yeah, but now he's scoring against your team, so why are you cheering him on?
It's like LeBron when he went to Miami. Yeah. He's bringing Miami championships.
Exactly. It's like, why are you still cheering him on? You should be against him now. Like, I'm sorry, as Xbox fans, you should be against Sea of Thieves now. They gave them a better version on PS5 anyway, so that's already a betrayal. But the fact that it's doing well, like, how can you guys support it? Like, okay, you were right all along. It was a good game, I guess. You know? Like, great, well done. But the point is, now it is bringing Sony money. And people always think, like, they get this backwards. They're like, ooh, Sony's paying Microsoft. I'm like, no, Microsoft is paying Sony for the privilege of putting it on their platform. That's how it works. Like,
and that's another deflection tactic that they use. These guys are grasping at straws, right? It's Microsoft makes X amount of money. Yeah, they're the world's richest company. Like, they've been that way for the last fucking 50 years.
Yep.
What does it matter? You spend $500 multiple generations on these fucking consoles that didn't give you what you wanted, and now that it's over, now that your games are going elsewhere, now that Satya and Phil sees PlayStation Nintendo as the next step in evolution, in transition and stuff like that, these guys just can't cope. So now they want to get into the whole money argument and the profits. I don't care about any of that shit. I care about the fucking games and the platform. Everything else I don't fucking argue about. But these guys want to jump into it.
J-Dub, I've always been against you when it came to the whole should Microsoft make another console. You know, I've always said that they can't afford to leave the living room because that just makes too much sense to me. But at this point, man, I'm ready to join your side. Where's the contract? Because what's the fucking point? Like, what is the fucking point of another hardware? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to do it, what are you going to give it exclusives? For what and for how long? No one is going to be fooled. You could give a game exclusive for 3 years. It doesn't matter. PlayStation gamers are just going to stay on PlayStation because we know it's coming. Like, why would I go out and buy another box? And again, everybody that has a PC, everybody with a Samsung TV, everybody that has a phone can access those games anyway. So why do we need an Xbox hardware specifically to access Xbox games, even if you were not going to put them on PlayStation? But now you put it on PlayStation and you put it on Switch. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, this company is so, like, it's so topsy-turvy. They don't know what it is that they are aiming for. Remember when Phil Spencer used to say, like, I think it was at the start of the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X, but he was basically like, we're not doing these things. We're not putting out this hardware so we can be second place. Like, we want to be at the top. Where is that energy gone? Why can't they just want to be better than PlayStation in every way? Why can't they want more market share than PlayStation? Why can't they want more customers and more gamers and more games and more third-party exclusives? And I hate the term money hatting. How do you money hat against the world's richest company? How? How is that possible? People are always like, Sony is money hatting. You cannot money hat against a person that's like 10 times richer than you.
Yep.
Like Blaze, imagine this. Imagine if you're like, you've got a $20,000 PC, and one day a new card comes out and you've got all the money in the world to buy it. And it's down to you and I, and we're bidding on this card. If I win the bid, that means you quit. Right. You've got more money than me. That is not me money hatching it away from you. That means you decided, you know what, it's not worth it. You cannot money hat the world's richest company. I'm sorry, now what are we doing? They just spent $100 billion and everybody agrees that Sony could never spend it. But Sony will get like a tiny itty bitty exclusive on the side. They'll get like an Octopath Traveler 2. Sony's money hatching Microsoft once again.
Don't you think it's incredible, for real, really? And I'm talking to everybody. Like, don't you think it's incredible that a company as big as they are, the financials, all the resources they have, they can't figure this shit out? It's like they don't know what to fucking do. It's like crazy. Like, I can't believe they can't figure it out, bro.
Every time we've been told them, make great games. And this guy came out and was like, even if we make great games, it wouldn't change anything. It's like, no, it's literally the only thing that would change anything. Like, that's it. We've been telling you this for a decade since you've been there. You tried Game Pass. Who told you to do Game Pass? Nobody asked for Game Pass. If you were going to do Game Pass, you should have just done it like PlayStation Now. Nobody asked for day and date. That wasn't the industry standard. If they had come up with Game Pass and they had said, okay, you will get our games a few years down the road, whatever, and then there's a catalog and enjoy this, nobody would have batted an eye. Everybody would still have called it the best deal in gaming and everything. Nobody asked them to do that. Who told them to create a Series S? Like, nowadays, people are like, it's the Series S that's holding by the Series X. If only the S wasn't there. Who told them to put an S there? It was not the industry standard to have two different SKUs of consoles in a generation. That is not standard. That's not what anybody expected. So why did you go out and they go out of the way to create dumb ideas, and then we are the rest of the industry and the rest of customers, we're supposed to just accept it like, isn't it such a shame? If only that S had paid off. If only Game Pass had been the thing that it should have been. If only customers had embraced Xbox's vision. No one told them to create this thing. Nobody told them.
None of these
things. They want to be first with ideas, man. They want to be like the first. Like, this the thing, like you guys said, ideas, people can copy ideas and they can get that same idea that you did and work on it and do it better. So that's the thing about, like, I feel like they wanted to be first with a lot of things. Game Pass, they thought if they did Game Pass, maybe every PlayStation would shift, Nintendo would shift, and this would be the standard going forward. But no, nobody blinked. They're like, nah, fuck that. We're not giving our games out.
Exactly. Nobody's going to budge, from this thing. And the thing is, the problem with Game Pass that I have, especially when it comes to day and date, is that PlayStation Now already existed. And it's like PlayStation Now didn't attract like this massive consumer base, even though when you think about it, the value was still there. Why exactly? And that's the thing. People are like, shrug. And then what do you decide to do? You decide to take the shrug thing and you make that your entire thing. Like, could you imagine? If everybody was like, you know what, the thing about cars is that we like them to drive and handle well. And you're like, what they really mean is they want an excellent backup camera. So then you make an excellent backup camera, which is fucking fantastic, but then at the expense of a well-driving car. And then you want to act surprised that people don't choose your product over the competitors. Like, no. Everybody enjoys an excellent backup camera. We love it. We love more of them. But just like a Tesla, at the end of the day, Tesla makes nice computers on wheels, but they don't make nice cars. And there's a reason now that every single quarter they're having less shipment. Because eventually people are like, you know what? This whole computer on wheels thing is cool, but then when my computer freezes, not so cool. Maybe I just want a car, like a car that is reliable and I can drive it. And when I start it, it starts. And when I turn on the heater, it heats. And when I turn on the cooler, it cools. And when I turn the radio, it radios. But at the end of the day, the whole thing where I can make my car, have a farting sound as a honk. Yeah, I don't need that. Like if you give me a great car and then you give me that, sure. But it's fine. And that's the thing with Game Pass.
iPad
Exactly.
on wheels.
That's exactly what it is, except an iPad will actually run all the time. It's more like a Windows tablet on wheels,
That was another shot. Yeah.
Listen. The point is this. The point with Xbox is I don't understand how you sell the next generation of Xbox. I don't know who is going to fall for it. Content creators will buy it to create content, sure. Certain gamers will buy it out of loyalty or to simply keep the libraries going forward. Sure. But how do you convince people that are not part of the ecosystem to join? And I always say this when I was speaking to Xbox people. I say pay more attention to me because I don't have an Xbox and I'm the person that they need to sell an Xbox to. So if I'm telling you all of these things as to why I don't want to buy an Xbox, you should be paying attention and be like, okay, let's solve those things for you, Emmanuel. So you want the Xbox. Because I think King Thrash made this point. The person that is not in your ecosystem is more valuable than the person who is. This is across every company, including PlayStation. There's a reason that if you want to renew for PlayStation Plus, they give you a 40% discount when you don't have a membership going on. If you are in the membership and you want to extend it, you're paying full price. If a phone company or an electricity company or a gas company is like, hey, you know what, there's a sign-on bonus. For the first 6 months, we'll give you half price. If you've been with them for 17 years and you call them up and you're like, hey, you've got this promotion for new people, could you give me the same? I've been a loyal customer for 15 years. They will never give it to you because you are not as valuable as the next person that is not yet part of the company or part of the customer base. So the point is this, listen to the people that are not in your ecosystem a little bit more than you listen to the people that are already in. And this is what PlayStation is doing. Everybody kept calling it the single player box. Now they're starting to get into multiplayer. Why? Because they want you, who prefers multiplayer gaming, to also have a reason to get the PlayStation.
And that's a great point. You ever see like companies, internet companies with it, they'll say, hey, $10 a month and you get fucking internet, and I'm like, yo, I'm paying $80. Like, how about the existing customer? They bend over backwards to appeal to the customers that they don't have.
Exactly.
It's a great point.
Exactly. You're far more valuable when you're outside an ecosystem than you are when you are in it. That's just the way things work. But again, fans of the Xbox refuse to listen to people like myself because it's easier to label me as a pony. It's easier to label me as a PlayStation fanboy. Why don't you just be like, no, it's a gamer that doesn't see the value in this particular platform. So maybe we should encourage our platform to offer him that value. Therefore, he will be one of us. It's not that hard.
All right.
I mean, what about if they reverted everything? Going forward, let's just say M and P-Rock, J-Dub, they release a new console and games are going to be exclusive. They're not going to be day and date. Game Pass, like, is there anything... I always think of shit like that, because is there anything that could, like, save it or, spark it? Like, because I just feel like the direction they're going just keeps digging, like, it's just a bigger and bigger hole that I just don't see them getting out of. Like, I'm just saying, like, they got to do something. They're doing all the wrong things.
Listen, Blaze, do you ever play those card games where you've got, like, at a certain point you collect, like, 12 cards, and they're all shit. But thankfully, there's one rule in the card game, and it's like you can flush all of them to get the same number of cards back, but you have to accept that you're going to flush all of the cards. You're going to have to take the good and the bad, and you just throw all of them away, just to be able to maybe have a chance at a better hand. I think that's what it will take, but it will flush out the complete Game Pass fan base that they currently have. In order to do that, and it will work, I think it will work in the long term, right? But it is a gamble. But it is a better gamble than whatever road they're currently on. But what they have to accept is, everybody that's currently an Xbox fan, they just have to flush them out. Now, of course, you could get the same cards back, right? So some people could resubscribe to the new ideology of what Xbox is, where they once again value the console, they once again value the exclusives, they once again limit Game Pass to be something much more reasonable, not as good of a deal, but still a good thing. They could do that, but at least 75% of people are not going to come back. They're going to go over to PC. They're going to go over to Switch. Some of them might, turn over to PlayStation, whatever it is. But I think that's what they have to do if they actually want to save the Xbox. My point is, if you're already talking about Steam or other stores, whether that's GOG, whether that's Green Man Gaming, whatever it is, going on the Xbox, at this point, do you really care to take that gamble anymore? Do you really care to get rid of, let's say they've got 30 million Game Pass subscribers. Do you really care to flush maybe 20 million of them out of the system just to be able to build up your brand from scratch again? I don't know if Microsoft has a temperament to do something like that.
They got the money.
I don't know. They just don't have the ideas, man. I don't know what began it. I don't know what started it. But you saw it little by little, like Blaze, you were there when PlayStation 3 was a disaster, right? When it launched and stuff like that, right? It was really rough. $600. They were talking about sell. They were talking about movies. They were talking about a lot of shit but games and stuff like that, right? But you saw halfway into the gen, they flipped the script. They released a Slim, so that way they could get the price down to $299, right? So you got a $300 Slim. They brought that actor. What was his name? That white actor who was making all the
Yeah.
He was the PlayStation mascot, talking about games and all that stuff. And like from that point on, that's all they talked about. All they talked about was games, more games, getting first party, third party. They were just doing everything, anything they could do to make a stick. They were doing little Big Planet Kart. Remember that shit?
Crazy.
They fucking made Little Big clear ripoff of Mario Kart, but they were desperate to just make games. That was their desperation mode. Yo, we just gotta make anything. Listen, we're gonna say yes to anything. Somebody actually says, hey, Little Big Planet was pretty popular. Why don't we make it like a kart game, kind of like Mario Kart, because it's a popular mascot? Do it. Yes, approved. Launch that shit. Like, hey, why don't we take all these PlayStation characters and do like a battle royale? Yep, got it. Like it, love it. Make it happen. Like, they were saying yes to anything because they were trying to put some message. Like, bro, we're sorry. We sorry we mentioned movies. We sorry we mentioned that we could cure cancer. We sorry we mentioned you could add Ubuntu operating system. We're sorry we did all that. We're just gonna launch games. So that way you guys could get back into the mentality that PlayStation is about the games.
Not just games, Puertorock. Like, these are industry staple games. Like, these were games that, like, okay.
Some of them, like God of War 3, Uncharted, fucking The Last of Us Part 1 to kick off.
Yo, Puertorock, I want to make something clear. I'm so glad you brought PS3 up, bro. You look at the price of the PS3. You look at PlayStation coming out saying the generation don't start till we say so. $600, right? Not only
get two jobs.
Bro, get two jobs if you have to. Then they're saying, hey, this new Blu-ray thing. We're not sure what Blu-ray is. We trust Sony, but like Blu-ray, what the hell? Anyway, dude, the no rumble. They had no rumble. They told people this is the best way to go. They were in court.
The 6-axis. Oh my god, the 6-axis was shit.
When they said that, I was like, because I was playing, I was really playing MLB The Show heavy. And I was still playing couch co-op because I had where I was living. I still had my cousins come over, so I go on the PlayStation official boards. I said, "Hey, MLB The Show, the rumble part was important because you were able to guess where the pitch is gonna land without actually showing the dot on the screen." So I told them when I play with my cousin, we're gonna go back to like if it's 1985, and he's gonna know where I pitched the ball at. Like, why would you do that? Like. You screwed up the gameplay. We're back to Super NES baseball now, where now you have to move the dot and pinpoint it, and the person could see it. Because still couch co-op was still a thing back then. And I was like, oh, this shit. They didn't answer obviously, but they probably be like, damn, yeah, we fucked up.
But what I was saying is, dog, they were in court for that, and they were in court. They the whole patent of it, and so I'm telling you, the price, the whole arrogance of them, the no rumble. They fucking get hacked. People's information's all over the place. Okay, and they still
of no online,
bro. But Puertorock, if you're Xbox and you can't capitalize, and I'm not saying they didn't capitalize because they did Microsoft definitely took a jump. People were buying Xboxes, but if you can't beat PlayStation at their fucking very worst, like you're never gonna get them.
No, that's true. They were bottom.
Just one thing about flushing out the cards. You take a look at the PS3, like you point out, Puertorock. They flushed out a lot of features. They flushed out, half of the media capabilities, the other software.
Got rid of backwards compatibility.
They got rid of backwards compatibility. So everybody that cared about PS2. How you get rid of
backwards compatibility halfway into the gen?
Exactly. They were like, "No, fuck all this." So that's exactly what Xbox has to do. They have to flush the deck. You can't keep these things, and you have to accept that some of these things aren't coming back. And that's what PlayStation needed to do. They were like, "Hey, PS2, that's making this shit too expensive. Get rid of it." And hey, listen, I know people that have the OG PS3, and one of their reasons, that they wanted it, is because of the backwards compatibility. That was it. Like, a lot of people will play PS2 games on the PlayStation 3. They loved it. I know lots of people that use the PS3 pretty much as a media center, and then eventually, I'm pretty sure they jibbed that. They were like, "Hey, listen, all these things you guys are putting on there, yeah, we're going to support like half of them," But the point is, they needed to flush the deck, and so they did it. And it pissed off some customers, but it allowed them to create a better product after all. So yeah, I agree with you, Blaze. The only way that they can recover is to flush that deck and be like, "Hey, listen, all those decisions that we took during the Xbox Series generation, yeah, here are all of the ones that are not coming back." And some of them are going to piss you off, but it is what it is.
And even the name Xbox One, Xbox Series, it's bad marketing. It's confusing. It's stupid. It's like you go from Xbox, then you go from 360, then you go back to Xbox. Every decision they made after 360 was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like I said, man, the next Xbox, just call it the Xbox 6. Nobody has to check whether it makes sense or not. Just PS6 versus Xbox 6.
They'll get used to it. They'll get used to it. Exactly. They'll be like, what happened to 5432? After a year or two, no one's going to ask. It's going to be normalized.
Exactly. Just
every other company, iPhone, Samsung, they go like, I don't get it, bro.
Yeah, there you go. iPhone 15, iPhone 14, iPhone 13. Like, that's just make it the Xbox 6.
Samsung's like on Samsung 23. So iPhone didn't decide, oh wait, Samsung's at version 23, we can't be 10 numbers behind them. They didn't give a fuck.
Exactly. Because they don't focus on what their competitors are doing. That's the thing. Microsoft is true focused on what it is that the industry is supposed to do. What are you doing? I'm so tired of Phil Spencer trying to act like the savior from the industry. For an industry that, again, let's just check the facts, doesn't need saving. Okay? It doesn't.
Really
the only way which it needs saving is for the developers and the people on the career side. And Microsoft is one of the biggest, guilty, houses when it comes to actually keeping devs hired, keeping them in a job, keeping them well fed so they can put food on the table. So it's like, if you were going to save the industry, that would be the one thing that you would do as Xbox. You would be like, hey, listen, this whole 18.6, rule that we have for Microsoft, this can't apply to our gaming studios. You would actually just make that change. But no, he wants to save the industry by putting his games everywhere else. And nobody is asking you to do this. There's not a single... people were talking about putting Call of Duty exclusive. That's what they wanted. That's what your fan base wanted. When it comes down to it, people want exclusivity. It makes them feel like they've got something that is worth cherishing. And I'm sorry if that doesn't make sense to people. But the thing is, you don't want everybody to support the Knicks. It wouldn't be any fun. The only reason that you support a particular team is because other people have their team. If everybody on earth supported Manchester United, no one would like being a part of the Manchester United fan club. Everyone would be like, okay, I've got to support someone else. I've got to find my own lane.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned the Knicks because Blaze is a Celtics fan. So he's probably thinking, why the fuck you mentioned that bullshit ass team? And Extreme has no idea what the fuck is going on. But I don't know what the teams you mentioned, Blaze is like, why the fuck he mentioned them motherfuckers for?
Hey, we gonna see you soon anyway. Don't worry.
I think this might be a Celtics Knicks playoffs. You see what we did to Philly? I don't give a fuck. That 30 seconds was crazy. That's crazy. Anyway,
I don't know what that.
You gotta see his basketball. That's a Knicks. Knicks is the New York Knickerbockers. Don't ask me what a Knickerbocker is.
Oh, they've been cursed. The Knicks have been cursed for a long time.
We've been cursed for decades. There's this Knick curse that is looming over us, and we gotta break it, man. We gotta break this. I'm gonna tell you that game last night was crazy. But anyway,
crazy.
But anyway, so Blaze, you haven't been a while. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go? Is there something that's in your chest and you be like, yo, you know what? We on 60 frames, no lag. Let's talk about this.
No, I missed. I don't know if you guys spoke about the whole using Steam and having PlayStation integrated with it.
Oh no, the overlay,
The trophy overlay.
Yeah.
No, we really haven't really talked about that. So what you think?
For a guy that plays on both, I think it's cool because I buy games twice. So Last of Us, Horizon, I own them all on PC, but I would always boot it up just to look at the graphic. I'm like, damn, this shit looks cool. All right, yeah, it runs better. Okay, but that's it. I would never touch it.
That's what you PC gamers do. You clock performance, FPS.
Oh, I can be honest about it.
He's like,
when it comes to PlayStation games, I just felt I didn't feel right. Yeah, that's what motherfuckers do. No, they run benchmarks and then they refund the fucking game. They refund it.
Oh my god,
that's what they do.
You just want to go like, yep, it's better, and then don't actually play it. You just want to say, yep, I bought it, it's better.
Oh yeah, like for me, I think it's cool because now I'll actually be, you know what? Let me clean up some. I'm on my PC tonight. Let me get some trophies. Let me clean up some trophies. Yeah, I mean shit like that. But I can't believe they just threw it on there, just sprinkled it on there. Like I feel like it's a big deal for like people in general. Like like it's a major update, and the fact that they just kind of threw it there, like I don't know. Like I see people that are really upset about it, and then I see people that are like, oh, that's that's cool. As I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like, the reason why I understand why people are frustrated as PlayStation fans is because we're not getting any information in terms of first party games and what developer, like obviously Puertorock, we know these fucking devs are making games. You know what I mean? We just don't know what they're doing, when they're doing it, what they're making. But I understand the frustration that like, hey, y'all keep throwing all this support towards PC and keep updating PC, but where the fuck are our games? So I understand the frustration, but I think it's cool. I think it's a cool implementation. If it's done correctly and I can earn trophies whether I'm on my PlayStation or on my PC, I think it's cool. I don't see a problem with it.
So I'd say for me, I don't see a problem with it either. But these are potential signs, right? And I think it's mainly because we saw what Xbox did and the moves they make and how they did little by little things. So I think on our side, we're just nervous that PlayStation doesn't see Xbox mistake and they could repeat the mistake even though you are witnessing what Microsoft did, right? I still think, and this is just me thinking, that Sony's just doing a fine balance because there is a point that when you make a game, right, there is a point that was made that gaming industry is the only entertainment industry where we move on from old shit real quick. Like as soon as the PlayStation 6 comes out, we already look at the PlayStation 5 as trash. Yet, when it comes to movies, when let's say 8K comes out, no one's going to look at 4K and the 1080p movies as trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one looks at The Godfather as a trash product, and that shit came out over 50 years ago. Like, movies will never look bad, no matter how old they are. They like, no matter how, like, with the introduction of IMAX, right? When IMAX first got introduced and all this fancy visual stuff, it didn't make the old movies obsolete. Like, no one says, fuck that. Unless it's IMAX, I'm not watching it. Fuck all these movies. Like, no one does that. They never disrespect. People still buy the Beatles album to this day. You understand? But for some reason in gaming, we move on from gaming real quick. I guarantee the moment PlayStation 6 drops, we're gonna field goal punt, the PS5 out the way. And God help us if they make a PS5, PS6 cross-gen game, everybody's gonna complain. Oh, why is this still on PS5? It's holding us back. For some reason we do that. So now you make this game. You pretty much, it's been out for 2-3 years, whatever. It's not selling no more because the people don't want it. The people who did want it, they would have bought it already. It's just sitting there, whatever. Right? So I understood when they said port it to PC to a whole new fan base, they'll buy it. Even if it's just 1 million copies, it's still 1 million more than what you would get at this current state. So I can understand that. But then when they do the overlay, I'm like, all right, I get it. They want to give people who play the PlayStation the trophies, the PlayStation experience. But that's still those little intricacies that the console have that you're now putting it somewhere else, right? So how far is PlayStation going to go? Like, how much more are they willing to go?
But you said
Yeah.
You said you know, ideas can be copied. So just, you know, like I'm taking and that's a great point because I was watching you, like, you know, ideas can always be copied. So they could be copying the Xbox template, let's say, but they do it in a different way where they,
Hopefully,
you know what I mean? But
hopefully, right? Hopefully they're grounded that, hey, you made this console, this is your priority. If you don't treat it as a priority, then who will? No one's going to treat this as a priority for you.
they've got to see what's going on. They can't be that stupid.
I know. They just they got to. They obviously have to see how Xbox is looking and all the issues it has and how that console's diminished. They can't be that stupid. They have to be like, yeah, we got to tread lightly because one bad messaging could fuck this all up. And remember, Blaze, you were there. Like Blaze been around in this community for a long time, bro. I know you see the same dude. We know the same dudes. And you know and I know these same dudes swore up and down they will never play on PC. I know you've seen these dudes. I'm not calling them out because I don't pocket watch. If you change your mind, hey, that's your business, whatever. You have the right to do that. But these dudes swore up and down, I don't play on PC. I am a console-only gamer. And now they're on PC, talking about PC, making content about PC. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot
of so all this bullshit about these PlayStation gamers are not going to leave for PC. Not in mass. You're not going to get an exodus of 100 million, but you're going to get people to leave because sometimes, right? You're going to look out for your own self-interest. More, I would like to think. I'm one of them. Puertorock. One of them. Yeah, there's a lot. I said I would never touch a PC on YouTube. There's a lot of people on YouTube that, a lot of us that said that, right? I like to think that no matter what, at the very least, you're going to look out for your own self-interest and you're always going to reevaluate the new normal. So if a new environment shows that, hey, PlayStation games are day one on PC, same day, you're going to look at the new information. Sure, you might still choose a PlayStation console because it's cheaper, it's easier, it's affordable. You don't want to deal with the thing on PC, so you get it. But other people might be like, you know what? PC's a little bit expensive, but at least now I know I'm going to get 60 frames. At least now I know I'm going to get the visuals I want. I kind of like the idea of modding games so I could do whatever the hell I want. I like the idea of having free online. You know what? I'm going to go PC. And
are you going to do a Puertorock? That's what I want to know. Because I know you keep saying...
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you think about reality, and I know a lot of people say, oh, it's hard. It's just a box. Like the PlayStation box, I don't like PlayStation because of the box. It's just box. It's just my PlayStation is behind my TV. I don't even see it. When I play games, it's behind the TV the way I set up, so I'm not even looking at it. The only time I look at it is when I take it out to clean it, put it back together, and then I put it back behind the TV. But I don't have it in a position where it's all customized. It's just
and you're all digital nowadays, probably.
A lot of my games are all digital. That's probably the biggest thing that I'm gonna miss because I still buy physical games because some physical game deals, like bro, there are times I swear to God that PlayStation on the digital store selling the game for $60. I go to Amazon, that shit's like $15.
All the time. Like, and not only that, games that are special to you, you want to keep, you want to own it.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy the differential in prices between digital. Like digital is supposed to be the cheaper option because you have the extra cost, but that's not how it works, right? A while ago, this was last gen. I was talking to somebody because I was convinced that most people in the community was convinced that because you don't have to pay for disc, storage, shipping, all these additional costs, and then the cut to the store, you can technically ship digital games faster price, cheaper price, all that. And then I learned, nope, that's actually the opposite. And I'm like, how? Like all the associated costs of shipping a physical cost more than digital. The guy goes, but you're not looking at the most expensive part of the game, and that's shelf life. If a physical game is on the shelf and nobody's buying it, you are taking up space. You got to get rid of it. There is no digital shelf life. It's just on the server. It's just going to stay there forever. But when you have a bunch of physical games on a store, on a shelf, and no one's buying it, you got to remove it. You have to put the games people want to buy because that's just going to sit there and collect dust. And nobody makes money off of dust. So physical stores, They have to drop the price because it's taking.
And the
space.
developer's got to give a
It's-
cut to PlayStation.
Yeah, it's
right?
been 2 months and it's still on the shelf. You gotta go drop that shit to $20 and just get it out of here. It's clearance sales. That's why physical games will always be cheaper, because after a while, it's just collecting dust and space, and they don't got time for that. They got to put it in the little rack in the middle of the store where it's like $2 and you just grab whatever. It's got to come off the shelf. He goes, digital space, there is no shelf life. Doesn't take up space. It's always there.
Great point.
So I was like, oh shit. He says you will always see physical drop price faster because it takes up space. And the longer that game is on that shelf, the cheaper it's going to get. You know, and when you see games like $10, $15, they really want it off the shelf like now. I bought Cyberpunk 2077 from Best Buy. I have it right here. I'm not bullshitting you. I bought it. I haven't even played it yet because backlog, right? I bought this. Right here. $6.
Stop playing.
I'm not lying. I'm my daughter. I saw Wario 64. He says Cyberpunk 2044 $598. I went on the website. I'm like, yo, this got to be a mistake.
Wow.
No, I bought it and they shipped it. $6.
I would have bought 10 of them, bro. God damn it.
$6. $6. And this was during a time when Sony took it off the store. So nobody was really buying this. So guess what? Best Buy's like, fuck this. We gotta get rid of this shit. This thing's trash. It's fucked up. $6. And I bought it.
Wow.
I haven't played it yet, but obviously I'm gonna download the PS5 version for free. And it's fixed now in the add-on content. But you see what I'm saying? They do that. The first time I noticed this was Street Fighter 5. That's when I knew something was funny. Because remember when Street Fighter 5 first launched, that shit launched all fucked up because all they had was just the multiplayer and the practice. They had none of the single player content because they rushed it in time for Evo. So I think that was 2014, 2015. I forgot what year. So the year Street Fighter 5 came out, for those of you that don't know, Sony, Capcom, ESPN, and Evo had this big thing. Street Fighter at the headline. Evo was in June. It had to be there. It was going to be live on ESPN2. The money was already paid. The advertisements, it was like a multi-million-dollar deal. That shit was locked. Capcom had to release their game by February. So that way the professional fighters had time to play it in time for Evo. So they rushed the launch. When you bought the game day one, it had 2 modes. The multiplayer and the practice mode. That is it.
Damn.
You know, yeah, Capcom promised the single player and all the other modes later on. But it had to get rushed, and they sold it for $60. Everybody was pissed. But Evo took precedence. Evo came out, whatever. In June, they sent the update, right? The single player content, all. Now you got the full game. So when they released a patch for the full game, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go buy Street Fighter. I saw it on Amazon for $30 physically. I'm like, oh shit, $30 too? So now I could get the full game for $30. I switched it from physical to digital because at the time, Sony was still selling digital in stores. They pulled that, if you remember. Now you can only get digital directly to the store, but before you used to get cards or just buy the digital license directly from like a vendor. When I switched it to the digital version, it went up to $60. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here?
They're in course to that, by the way. That's going to come back.
That was so. I went to the PlayStation Store, and the game was $60. So I'm like, wait a minute. So the PlayStation Store is $60. The digital version that was on $60. But if I flip it back to the physical version, it's $30. So I bought the physical version of Street Fighter 5. Why the fuck am I gonna pay an extra $30? And I had Prime, so I got it the next day. So I had a rate was 1 day. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just get it, bro. You see what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I'm gonna miss about physical, because in my opinion, physical games protect the consumer, because you have options for, believe it or not, a lot of cheap games, man. Games physical tend to drop price faster than digital. In an all digital world, especially when you can only get your game from one store, that's one thing I'm also cool about PC though, because PC has multiple stores. That's why I don't really mind. I'll get it on Steam. If I don't like it on Steam and Epic Game Store has a cheaper version, I'll get it on Epic Game Store. Or I'll go to GOG, CD Keys. They be dropping games at super cheap prices.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about PC. But the main thing I'm saying is this. PC, Xbox, consoles, they're all boxes, right? But it really comes down to the software. Especially if you're a console gamer, it's all about the software. It will always be about the software. And if you buy a specific console, it's primarily because of the first party. something that first party is doing is attracting you to them. It's not just simply Madden and Call of Duty, right? Because those are on every platform. They're generic. There's nothing special about those games on any platform, right? Other than maybe PC with frame rates and performance, but in general, the games are nothing special.
You think the controller matters anymore? Some people like.
But here's the thing: you could play whatever controller you want on PC.
On PC,
Yeah.
I'm saying like in
But
terms
the console,
of the console,
to a certain point, maybe somebody likes the controller. That could be a reason. Yeah. But when all the games are on every platform, that's literally the differences you're going to talk. Controller, maybe the UI.
Yeah.
I don't know. The store.
My friends are there.
I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be things I don't really give a shit about. Like, I really don't care about that. Like, I don't like, some of it's cool, but the main thing is the games primarily backed by the first party and the amazing shit that they do. Well, if Sony's first party goes day and day on PC, I'm not gonna miss out on that. I'm gonna just get on PC. It's probably gonna be better more often than not. I can still get the DualSense controller because if they do day and day PC, they're gonna do all that shit too, all the DualSense features, all that. I don't have to ever worry about online. The third party, I could get Steam, which usually has better deals than the PlayStation Store. CD keys usually has better deals than the PlayStation Store. It just makes sense. And then, just like anything else, I have this PC desktop and I'm gonna put it behind my TV. Because a lot of people think, you buy PC, you're not gonna play on a monitor. No, I'm not gonna play on a monitor.
You don't have
PC,
to. Yeah.
PC has HDMI ports. Hello, like, what are we talking about here? I'm gonna put that shit right behind my TV, plug in an HDMI port, and boom, there you go. It's gonna be no different, especially with a PlayStation overlay. People won't even notice that I don't have a PlayStation 5. It's going to look the same. You see what I'm saying? So from that perspective,
just going back to the,
what's up? Go ahead.
Going back to the overlay, I wanted to just say I don't have a problem with it. My only question with it is that I think, as a PlayStation gamer, the PlayStation overlay will actually be a benefit for me because it will entice me to, I guess, try the experiences at least on PC because I care more about trophies than I care about Steam achievements, right? But my question is this: does it entice the PC gamer to play on PlayStation?
No,
does a PC gamer go, wait, I've unlocked these achievements on PlayStation, I've now started building a PlayStation ecosystem. So then, is it easier for me to transition to, instead of choosing an Xbox, say, choosing a PlayStation as my console of choice? So maybe let's say that they, because I'm not sure if it does cross save. Sorry, that's the thing that matters to me. If I've put 215 hours into Forbidden West. I love the game, but I don't want to start it again from scratch. Like, at this point, I just want to go in and then fight robots. Like, I've already got my kit, I've already got my weapons, I already know
you
my
got the bird, you can fly.
Exactly. I've got everything unlocked.
It's not a game you want to do all over, especially when you want to do something specific.
Exactly. So, like, that's what I imagine. Like, is there a case where a PC gamer is like, okay, I've put in 80 hours on the Forbidden West. I've unlocked all of these achievements. If it unlocks achievements, I've unlocked all of these trophies. If it's got the overlay, now he's like, okay, I'm gonna get the next console. Since I've already started a PlayStation-like journey, do I now choose a PlayStation 6 versus an Xbox 6? Is there a way that entices? Because that was the entire point of putting things on PC in the first place. It wasn't to just be like, make more money. People keep talking about like, oh, they only sold this many million copies. The entire point isn't to sell copies, it's to bring people from PC over to console. That's really what it's there to do, So then the point is, does this overlay help that happen? Or is it actually counterproductive and actually takes people from PlayStation over to PC? So that's the dynamic that I want to know, and I want to.
Good point.
That's a great point. We'll find out shortly.
Great point, because you're right. You're absolutely right. That could be how Sony looks at it, right?
It is cross save though. Yeah. Like, I know if you have a platinum, you'll pop a platinum. I'm guessing you're gonna pop a.
But is it cross save? Because sometimes you can pop the trophy, but it won't actually give you the save file. Like, will I be able to restart? Because the save file, the trophies and the save file
transfer over to Steam, and
right. No, good point.
That's what I want to know.
Sony will have to work on that, but that's a good point because, like, you can tell if you really like a game or whatever. And what I mean by that, like, take for example the 4 games Xbox put on PlayStation: Hyper Rush, Grounded, Pentiment and Sea of
Trash.
Thieves. I'm not playing any of those games.
Me
It wasn't just me shit talking like those games aren't interesting. They're not interesting for me. So I don't care if they're on PlayStation. Like
They're not interesting on PlayStation
I'm not
either, bro.
interesting. I don't like Microsoft first party is weak. To me, Microsoft, the only part of Microsoft that's interesting really is what they bought. Not what they naturally or what
That's
they
fucked
had
up.
this whole time. Like 343, I don't really care about them. Coalition's pretty good, right?
I like
probably-
Coalition.
That's pretty. Coalition's probably the only studio I would say
Yeah.
that Gears is a good franchise. But the main thing about Microsoft now is they bought Bethesda. I like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, right? So that's really what they got, and they bought that, right? But I could imagine, like, if you're on PC and you probably play on PC and you like PlayStation Game Studios and you're like, man, these games are actually bangers. Do you want to keep waiting 2 years to keep playing these games? Or like those M says, you enjoy the trophies, you're getting the trophies, you're playing the PlayStation games. Now PlayStation released a new banger, right? There's Spider-Man 2, there's Wolverine. And none of that's on your PC. So do you pull the plug and be like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. The games are good, and if you're all about the games, I enjoy it. I really like the games. I like PlayStation games. You know what? I'm gonna count me a PlayStation, and I'm gonna play those games. And then when they come to
Bro.
PC, I'll just rebuy it so I could brag about the benchmarks.
That's true, yo, M. That's
very true.
true though, because Miles Morales Spider-Man remasters on PC, right? Now, if you're a PC gamer, you're like, yo, you know what? I usually sit here and wait a couple years, but fuck, man, I enjoyed Miles Morales so much. I'm just gonna buy a PlayStation 5 and go buy and play Spider-Man 2 right now, and that's a great point.
Yeah,
Especially because if you just reduce the friction, you've already got a PlayStation account. You've already got the trophies already started. You might already have some PlayStation friends because you played Helldivers and you've got people over on the PlayStation anyway. And let's face it, trophies are better than Steam achievements. Like I've played on
100%.
PC and Steam achievements suck.
And I'm
Like,
gonna-
I
They
wanna take
don't.
Xbox
They have like a
achievements.
tiny little
I'm gonna say
sound.
this.
Tiny little
I'ma say
pop-up
this.
thing. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and Blaze, you probably could attest to this, right? Since you're like all in the PC master race. But I'm gonna be honest. I think PC gamers are more apt to get consoles as a secondary device versus the opposite. Like console gamers, they usually stay with consoles. They'll get multiple consoles, but a lot of them tend to consoles. But I see PC gamers, when they are multi-platform gamers, they'll get a console. They don't have no issues with getting a console if the PC doesn't do something or get games that a particular console has, they'll get that console. Because they want
Puertorock, don't get it twisted, bro.
Yeah.
You see this DualSense Edge?
Yeah.
You can ask anybody. I do not fuck with a keyboard and mouse. I don't give a fuck
Sony,
if
baby.
you can
That's it.
aim better.
Hey.
I ain't doing it.
Keyboard
So-
is for podcasting. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
I don't
don't think if I got a PC now you invite me to like Age of Empires or StarCraft. Don't do that shit.
Crazy.
Like, you're out your mind. I ain't playing that bullshit. Like I ain't got
Yo,
time for that.
P-Rock, Blaze sends emails with his DualSense Edge. You know that's what he does. He
As
just
he
sends
should.
the email.
And
He doesn't touch that fucking
He types
keyboard.
that long ass message on the dual.
You know what it is though? It's not like, oh, I'm PC Master Race. I love tech. I can't help it. I want to see shit look the best. I want the best shit. That's just how I am. But don't ever get it fucking twisted, bro. You see this fucking bat signal here? Like,
There you go.
I'm a console gamer at heart. I can't help it.
That room setup is lovely though. I'm gonna tell you that much.
Bro,
that
I'm
effort
a
you put
console
in,
gamer, bro.
that shit came out gorgeous.
I appreciate it. Hey, but you know what?
I really like my
I
background
love
too.
this vibe. Like the
I was
vibe
about to
is like-
say M. Yo, it's white as hell. I couldn't even fucking.
Yo,
Those are
so
closets.
M,
I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven.
He goes for the simplistic, crisp picture look. I don't know what the fuck
Minimalist.
I'm doing here. I'm just doing.
He's
I just
doing
got
meetings.
this. I
Yo,
just got
Puertorock,
this.
that's what I want to tell you, bro.
No,
Yo,
listen.
why are you on camera? Like, turn on your camera on this. Shut that camera off and get on camera on Discord so I can actually look at you when I talk. Makes so much sense to me.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Switch it up.
Discord. Yeah, Discord.
I probably could switch it up. I'll probably do that on the next show. Probably just get rid of this individual box and just go.
Well, when you're
on the
when you're
Discord.
not, yeah, when you're showing shit off, you can keep that box. But then when we're just chilling, talking, you know,
Yeah, but
just a thought. I don't know.
you know, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. You know, so same thing. But anyway, yo, we're gonna finish off the show. I want to say, man, hey Blaze, thank you so much for coming through. We need to come through more often. You know, hey, So I'm gonna let y'all know. Great news for you guys. I ain't gonna say great news for you guys. More like great news for me. So I am now starting on my last 8 weeks of my final class for my bachelor's.
Wow.
Oh, I cannot wait, bro. Oh, I'm so
good
done
for you,
with,
bro.
I'm so,
That's
I'm so
fucking
done.
awesome.
Yo, I'm so done with school. Like, you'd be surprised how much work I'm doing behind for school more than anything else. And I'm so fucking done. And then after that, once I'm done with school, I could get back. You'll see me show up more often on Saturdays to your podcast, Solid and stuff like that. So for all you, I enjoy a lot of podcasts, but between school, really school for the most part, that's been taking up a lot of my time doing all these papers and stuff like that. And now I'm about to do the capstone for information technology management. So, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, good
so,
for you.
Well,
that's awesome.
I'm trying to get a job at Microsoft so I can make them great again. You know what I'm saying? Because Phil Spencer's fucking them up. I'm gonna get over there. I'm gonna go to Redmond. Listen, I'm gonna make Xbox great again. I just need some time to get there. But you know what I'm saying? But that takes up a lot of time. But oh man, I can't wait, bro. I'm gonna go ham. I'm gonna go old school binge gaming for like 37 hours straight because I ain't got no more school and shit. Like a kid coming off of summer school and shit. But anyway, but I want to say this, you know. But anyway, don't ever not invite me to Solid Cast, bro. Especially I gotta do it. You know, I never done a podcast with Solid. We gotta do an old man conversation because some of the conversation he has, I'm like, you know, I can relate to that because we're both old.
Bro, y'all are similar
like
more than y'all
shit,
know.
we don't understand. Like this young man shit, we're both out of place in this world. Like this Gen Z shit, like we're just out of place. So
bro, I would love for both of you to come on, bro, and have a conversation. We do the gaming talk, but once we're not gonna just talk about. You know, once the gaming talk dries up, we just talk about real life topics. Just you know what I mean.
And I'll be honest, I love it. I love when y'all two start talking real life shit. I love it.
People will like that better than anything else. That's
I love that. Yeah, I love that part. The real life talks and.
But I want to get M. Yo, Puertorock, how'd you find M?
How'd
you find this?
I found him.
Man?
He found me. Right? And then the first day we had the tuffle over multiplats on PlayStation. Remember? If you work for me, you're gonna do what the hell?
Yep.
That's
I still stay by my stance. I was so like,
yeah, he said I still stand by, but it's looking shady though, right? It's looking spooky. Things are looking spooky right now. Shit.
No, I'm good with everything.
But yeah, he was
you
in the
guys
chat.
that are wondering.
You know, because you know how I am. I believe it. I'm surprised more people don't take advantage of it. But like, I don't like lock people coming onto the podcast through like membership or nothing. Like I say this a lot of times. Anybody in the chat, like if you want to be part of the podcast and speak your piece, just hit me up on Twitter DM. You know what I'm saying? So I could vet you to make sure you're not a weirdo because you're not gonna do weird shit on camera or whatever. Right. But if you're legit, and even if you're a hardcore Xbox dude, but if you got a point to make, whatever. Extreme took it up. He hit me up in a DM. I'd be like, hey, you know, show up next week. And after that, it became like a drug. You know what I'm saying? Got him addicted.
No, I like him. You know why I like him?
I gave him that little taste. You know what I'm saying? The first sample's free. And now I got a consistent customer.
Nah, facts, bro. No, he's reliable. Yeah. Bro, M is smart. I might not agree with everything. Like, we disagree on a couple things. But other than that, when the man speaks, I can tell he's very knowledgeable, bro. He's not an idiot. I can just see it off him, and I respect people like him, bro. I like people with their own opinions. I don't care if it goes against the grain or not. Just be real. That's it.
I'll say this, the one thing I like that I really enjoy with your conversation is you bring a perspective a lot isn't in the community. You bring other industry perspective, like your perspective on Porsche. And that whole scenario, that was a great analogy on what gaming's going through. So when he brought that analogy of Porsche didn't know what to do, so they created the Carrera or whatever. And that was just a great analogy of what gaming needs to do in order to get back. And, you know, he brings a great perspective, and he usually references other industries that went through the similar situation and how they resolved it. And when you think about it, industries steal ideas. You know, it's not just, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, and when you look at industries and technology, manufacturing, whatever, they all align to certain principles. That's why, like, all of them agree with Lean Six Sigma principles. All of them agree with Agile principles, even though they could be totally different industries, but there's certain principles they all align in terms of efficiency, doing things better. So I'm pretty sure some people look at Porsche and their story on how they things did things better for them, how can we do something better in our industry using the same type of logic, you know? So he does that a lot. He brings a lot of stuff that we normally don't talk about because it's a totally different industry, whether it's camera, music, movie industry, auto industry. And that's just great perspective because you can learn from that. You can learn from what other industries are doing and be like, you know what? If it worked for them over there, it could potentially work over here. So definitely love those insights. I'm still waiting for his channel to, you know, review Japanese developed games with no black people.
I'm still working on it. Drive gets it going. That's all it is. That's what it is.
You know, his review on Japanese games that have no black people, but somehow they have white people in it. That's his stick. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
It's not a lie. It's not a fucking lie, bro.
You know, they have no black people, but somehow they have white people in it. So,
have you seen the new DEI thing?
What? The what?
The new thing they're calling what is it? Tales of Kenzera Zhao. Now it's like that. They're saying that's woke because it has a black lead made by an African, you know, creator. Now it's woke because it has black people.
DEI is the new N-word.
Let me tell you. There's always a new version. There's always a new version.
They're gonna find a new way.
We all hear it.
There's always gonna be. But anyway, bro, Blaze, let people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man. Again, I appreciate the conversations. I do solid cast every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Pull up, you know what I mean? Good conversations, gaming, real life, whatever you like, we got it. I definitely want to get both of you guys on. And Puertorock, you already know, bro. Like, don't DM me on Twitter. Or I'm just gonna give you my cell phone number because I feel like I miss your. I really am, bro. Because I'm so sick of missing it. And but I want to get both you guys on.
We'll do that
for real. Yeah. We'll talk after the show, but I definitely want to get both of y'all on if it's cool with y'all. And yeah, I appreciate it. Shout out to the chat.
Figure out what time that is for me. Jesus.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting, yo. Oh fuck.
So
what time is it now?
It's about an hour from now.
And you say it's on Saturday, so it's going to be on Sunday, and that's going to be at like 2:30.
No.
Wait a minute. What day are you on?
No, I'm on Saturday at 9.
No. If your Saturday is Sunday for me, I'm ahead of you.
Oh, you're ahead.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday for me.
Oh, now. So it's Wednesday right now? Wednesday morning. It's Wednesday morning for you, right?
No, Wednesday afternoon. It's Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fucked up, bro.
Believe me, bro. Listen. If you
think that's behind the times.
If you think that's fucked up, right now he's about to go into winter.
That's why you see me wearing the jumper. That's why I've got a jumper.
You see, I'm not the only one. They don't teach us this shit in school. I'm telling you.
Clearly not.
Bro, listen. I'm glad I met him. Because if my wife would have been like, yo, I want to spend the summer in Australia, what month do you think I would go? I'm
June.
going in July.
Yeah.
Boy, I would be fucked. It would be like 10 degrees. Like, it'll be cold as fuck. My wife will be pissed the fuck off. She's like, why the fuck is it so cold out here? It's July. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a winter front, global warming. They're like, no, stupid ass, is that your American education system sucks. Summer is in December here. I'll be like,
too much poison shit over there, and I can't. I don't know.
I would have thought it's global warming. I'm like, man, this shit is real. It's fucking freezing. The world's going to shit. I would look like, your American education is shit.
First of all, Blaze, something that is poisonous is something that if you ingest will kill you. It doesn't actually mean it's venomous, which means that if it bites you, it will kill you. You gotta know the difference. So really, if it's poisonous, that's kind of your fault for putting it in your mouth. So just don't put any weird thing in your mouth, and you should be fine.
See,
it's a great place.
Now he's bragging on his.
Now he educated me again. Look at this.
There you go. No, in Australia, you gotta know the difference. You gotta know the difference.
It just blows my mind. He celebrated Christmas, and it's like 28 degrees.
Yo, hey, listen. A white Christmas is overrated.
What?
I don't know why you guys. A white Christmas is overrated. I don't know why you guys want to shovel snow. You want to shovel snow on Christmas?
You're bugging.
It's overrated. It's overrated. It should be a hot summer's day. You go down to the beach. You have a barbie. It's great. A barbecue, not the doll.
No. See, Christmas is, you got the fireplace going. You got hot chocolate. You understand what I'm saying?
The whole vibe, man. You gotta understand.
It's the whole vibe. I've been to it.
You look out the window. Listen, Santa wears a snowsuit, not a 2-string bikini set. Right? He's in, that big ass suit is too hot for the summer. All right, right.
But over here, our Santa is fit. You know, he's a lifeguard. You know, and he's there in his speedos.
He's Baywatch. He's Baywatch.
Exactly. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, but a hot ass summer for Christmas, that shit don't even sound right.
Nah, I don't know how people do it in Florida, bro.
It's great.
I know.
You need to have like a light sprinkling of snow. It's cold outside. You get the fire, like you said, fireplace. You have tea and shit, chocolate. Nah, it's a whole vibe, man.
It's a
common experience. Common experience what Christmas should be done. Yeah.
Listen. We're gonna get you to America in December. You're gonna get the proper ice skating, hot chocolate. You know, you're gonna get the proper. You guys are
gonna have to get Ghost in the Garage to sponsor my trip to America because I would like to be flying in luxury for me to ever come back to your country.
When you walk down the street, you slip and bust your ass on the snow. You're gonna get the proper Christmas. You probably break your left arm because you fucking slipped.
Yeah, you need to feel what's cold.
You're gonna get the proper Christmas. And now you're in the emergency room with 1,000 people that can't afford the emergency service.
Wait, if I go to the emergency room, who's gonna pay for my bill?
Nobody. You're just gonna go and get a check and lie.
You know, this is the thing. This is the reason we survive over here, yeah? Because if we get bit by a fucking lion, our bill's gonna come back to be like $7. Like, you guys get bit by a spider, and you go to the ER, and then it's gonna be like $15,000.
Yes,
for nothing.
That's not a lie.
Yeah, so actually, garbage.
We need that could be a whole podcast in itself, bro. This country needs universal health care like ASAP. Like
Let me tell you.
How is 2024 and we still don't have universal health care? I don't know.
I could get bit by anything in the middle of the forest, get airlifted to hospital, and then they're gonna give me money on the way out just for the taxi fare.
It just blows my mind. We're the only first world country without a universal health care. You know what? That shit's gonna trigger me. Yo, Extreme, let them know where they can find you, brother. So remember, Soundcast, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time every Saturday.
That's right. Yeah, so Sunday, 2:30 every Sunday, basically. There you go. I think I worked it out. I think I worked it out. Listen, guys, you can find me on my channel. You know, I haven't put out some video this week, but I just didn't want to go after the Xbox people again. I just couldn't. You know, when Microsoft is disrespecting them so much, you know, sometimes you just shouldn't be punching down. My mama told me better than this, so I decided not to put a video out this week. Listen, the only part of the gaming that is in a rut is a conversation on Twitter because you can't talk anymore. Nobody agrees on the same facts anymore. It's not even fun anymore to make fun of the Xbox because it's just like, you know, when Microsoft is punching down on them, it's like, oh, I don't feel like it. And they're already taking the piss. Second thing, last thing I will say, sorry, or third thing, whatever. Last thing I'll say, watch Fallout on Prime. Fantastic show. Fantastic. You're going to love it.
The first episode.
Forget about all of these stupid Last of Us comparisons. Like it's not. We're not going to do a show war. There's no such thing. But it is a fantastic show. 9 out of 10 for me. And you know that's high praise, you know. And if you're a fan of Fallout already, definitely 10 out of 10. Because I miss out on all the Easter eggs. I didn't go and look at YouTube for what the Easter eggs meant or anything like that. Pardon?
Yeah, like what does this mean or what's the Easter egg this? Because
exactly. Yeah. I got the obvious references like the floating robot or whatever it is. Like I've seen that before in the Fallout game. But the point is, everything else that, you know, makes Fallout that you guys would love in the universe, that's there for you guys, but you know, obviously I don't get to recognize it. So it's a 9 out of 10 for me, which means that it must be at least a 9 out of 10 for you. Yes. Probably a 10 out of 10, if not an 11 out of 10. Fantastic show. Like you would love it. Took about 3 episodes for me to fall in love with it, but I think people that are already into Fallout, you guys would love it for
you got the gist of things,
Yeah, it's just great. It's just a fucking great show. Like you guys should just go and watch it. You know, and this is how you get more people into gaming, man. This is the one thing Xbox did right. Get these people into gaming by getting them interested and seeing that gaming isn't just Mario and Pac-Man anymore. It's a fantastic story. You love the main character. You love the side quest. I can't talk enough about this show. It is bloody brilliant. So go watch it.
You're gonna make me go watch it after this shit, bro.
You must go watch it, man. It's so fucking good.
It's a good show.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I first saw the first episode, I got my wife to watch it. She didn't know. I told her it's Fallout, and she's like, okay. She recognized what the franchise was once she saw the little doll. The little blonde hair thing.
Yeah.
She's like, wait a minute. Isn't that stupid game you play? Yeah, that fucking. She's like, I hate this fucking game. Once she saw the little doll with the thumb, she's like, wait a minute. Isn't that stupid game you play? I'm like, yeah, it's Fallout. She's like, I don't want to watch this shit. That game is so stupid. Like, yo, I'm like, what?
Did she like it?
No.
I agree with your wife.
As soon as she saw that Easter egg, she knew exactly what that was. She's like, I'm not watching this shit.
Oh, that's a shame. She would not like the rest of it.
She's like, I ain't watching this shit. Once she saw that the fucking guy, she hates, for whatever reason, she hates Fallout. Well, every time she see me play, she's like, why you play? This game is so stupid. She just don't like it. So when she saw that little fucking cartoon doll, she's like, wait a minute. Isn't that stupid ass game you play? I'm like, yeah, Fallout. She's like, I'm not watching this shit. She walked out.
Puertorock, I want the next Fallout game to look like the show. Like, give me the vibrancy, give me the colors, give me the biomes. This show is so fucking fantastic in its presentation. I'm just like, why doesn't the game look like this? Because when I go in and I take a look at like a Fallout New Vegas or a Fallout 3, even a Fallout 4, now it's just fucking ugly. It's just brown and green and gray.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, the color palette just sucks. I want the next Fallout 5. Okay, Fallout 5 needs to look like this show. Give me vibrancy. Give me a beautiful world.
That's what Fallout 4 is.
Hey, listen.
I think Fallout 4
they can do it better.
It's more colorful.
Yeah, they've got to bring that, aesthetic into it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the show is bloody brilliant. You know, can't say enough about it.
All right. And of course, your only friend is YouTube Streets Puertorock77. You know where to catch us every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for rocking out. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tune in for some more videos this week. And, pray for me over the next 8 weeks. 8 more weeks. And I am done. And I'm out of here. You guys take care. Peace.